From the hot air balloon capital of the world, this is live coverage of the 51st Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta and the 66th Gordon Bennett Coupe Aeronautique. It's Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. And now, direct from the rooftop studio at Balloon Fiesta Park in Albuquerque, New Mexico, here are your hosts, Glen Moyer and Lloyd Jr.
And good morning once again, everybody. It is day 6 of the 51st Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. You're looking live at Balloon Fiesta Live. If you're online, if you're on the air here in the park, we are with you as well on the PA system. It's a surprisingly nice morning. I expected to be, see it blowing up a hoolie this morning. So I'm really shocked that it's just another nice morning.
Well, that was the first thing you said to me. It's like, it wasn't even good morning. It's where's the wind?
I know. When I pulled into the park and called and said, hey, I'm here, I said, where's all the wind? Because I was expecting,
Well,
wind.
I was still on the field through most of yesterday afternoon, and it did get very windy here at the field yesterday afternoon. And my looking at the weather says there's a wind advisory in effect for 9 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be here a little bit later this morning, and so pilot's briefing just getting underway over there. We'll head over there when they get to the weather and find out exactly what the game plan is for this morning. Although they did send out to the media that they're looking at doing a static display here on the field today.
Okay.
And probably no flights. But we'll get that confirmed as they take a last-minute look. They're continually, but what's the very latest meteorological observations? And is that going to happen then or later?
It did get a little windy yesterday afternoon, and then, even at that point, about 5:30, my cousins and all our friends, we went to a very nice dinner at El Pinto, and we ended up being seated outdoors. But it was really a very, very pleasant evening. There was not a lot of wind. We did have a couple of tree leaves fall into the chip bowl, so there were some vegan things going on we weren't expecting. But, no, it was very nice. And then all through the night, I know when I got into town on last Thursday, the wind was really blowing that afternoon, and you could hear it blowing by the window in my hotel. And last night I never heard anything. I thought, well, that's weird. Where's all the wind? And then got up this morning and thought, wait a minute, this is not what they were forecasting. So, but that's exciting because that means we may get a great static display of special shapes.
Because it is Special Shapes Day.
It is, and we have one of probably the newest special shape, maybe in the world, is here. Andrew Hawley from Diamond Balloons left yesterday. He left his crew to pack the balloon up.
Landed his balloon.
Left it for the crew to pack up, headed to Phoenix to the airport where they picked up this brand new special shape, Pico, that Diamond Balloons just finished building in the UK. They test flew it a few days ago, got it certified, put it on an airplane, shipped it to the U.S. Andrew drove to Phoenix yesterday, picked it up, drove back last night, pulled onto his launch site at 3:30 this morning. So an overnight drive. So I'm excited to see Pico, which is a baby peacock, if you're wondering about what the shape is. And so, we're all hoping now that we'll get to see it. Speaking of seeing things, we're now seeing our Dawn Patrol show.
Standing their balloons up.
So we're going to get their show going this morning.
And again, I'm not sure that whether they will fly or not, but at least this gives us good hope and lines right up with the fact that it's going to be calm enough probably to stand the balloons up.
Exactly.
But we don't want balloons in the air when those winds hit. And while our weather guys have been pretty right on, they said yesterday the winds were coming up at 2 o'clock, and at 2:10, it's definitely up and blowing. So we don't want to have balloons up in the sky. What happens, for folks who wonder about that, is obviously you have all that fabric up there, and when the wind hits it, if you're in free flight, you just move along with it.
Right.
But if you're standing on the ground or coming in for a landing, you're moving that fast, or if you're on the ground, it hits the side of the balloon, it caves it in. You can't be putting flame up as it does that, and it's just not good and safe.
It's not fun. I've always likened it to once you're on the ground in a high wind like that, what was a big, fat, round balloon suddenly becomes and I'm never quite sure about concave or convex, but it becomes the wind flattens the upwind side, and suddenly you're riding along in a 4-foot wicker basket underneath a giant spinnaker sail.
Yep.
And spinnakers are what you put up on the sailboat for speed.
Yes, to get moving.
And that's exactly what happens to a balloon. It collapses the balloon, but makes it into a large sail shape, and then it can literally drag the basket hundreds of yards before you might come to a stop, certainly hundreds of feet. And that's typically when people can get hurt. So, it's not that you can't launch and even fly when the winds are fast, but the real potential problem becomes in getting back down on the ground safely, landing.
And the other part of this is, this is day 6 of 9 days of Balloon Fiesta, and we have flown all 5 days.
Yeah.
And had both of our balloon glows go off on the
right.
first weekend, and we launched all the gas balloons. So it has been a perfect week to this point.
So why ruin it?
Let's not.
Why take a chance?
Yeah, and it's got to give the crew and the pilots just a little bit of the break. They're still going to put the balloon up, which is still the work part. But
even so, when you think about it, for special shapes, especially for special shapes, to my way of thinking, a static display is more fun.
Oh, well, yes,
because
definitely.
then the balloons will be up for an hour, hour and a half maybe, and you've got plenty of time to walk in and amongst the balloons and get all the great photos that you want to get, really get up close and see them and look at all the different rigging and just go see your favorite special shape, find ones you've never seen before or whatever, as opposed to just standing there and watching them inflate and then fly away.
Right. We launched 550 balloons in about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And they're up and they're gone. This way you have that same amount of time to be able to go see every one.
Exactly.
And you say, dang, I missed it because they flew away. That's not going to happen today. You're going to have the opportunity to go see them.
It shouldn't happen because, you should have plenty of time to walk around the balloons. And, of course, that's one of the unique things about Balloon Fiesta as well. In a normal, any other balloon event, there would be a crowd line, a static line, a fence line of sorts,
keeping you
along
from
the east side of the field, along Main Street, that keeps you separate from the balloon, so you could see them from kind of afar, kind of like being at a parade. You stand on the street corner on the sidewalk and watch all the parade go by.
Yep.
Here, you can get out and be part of the parade. You can walk right out amongst all the performers. And so, to my way of thinking, especially for special shapes, a static display is almost a better opportunity than a flight.
Which is also one of the reasons I think that we changed the evening special shapes
to a glow.
From a rodeo, which was a
flight.
Set them up and fly them out.
That's right.
Now it's a glodeo, and yes, you have the opportunity. And don't forget, all of the pilots have balloon cards as well. Although one of our photographers flew with Princess Nellie yesterday, and some kids came up looking for cards, and the pilot had to say, we've given them all out already.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, they didn't space it out a little bit.
Oh.
So some may be out, but they all had them, and most of them are going to space them out. And the other thing is there's about a half a dozen shapes who are scheduled to be here just today and tomorrow.
That's right. So you can see balloons that are here only for today and tomorrow. Not all the shapes start last Saturday and fly all 9 days. There are some pilots who bring 2 balloons. They bring a round balloon to fly during the week, and then on Thursday and Friday, they bring out their special shapes. So,
plus those pilots that just come for special shapes.
That come just for special shapes days. That's right. Speaking of pilots, some friends looking through the Facebook chat room this morning, friends saying hello and good morning. My longtime good friend, Mr. Joe Chevenel, who is the former pilot for Brooks and Dunn, one of my favorite music acts, said good morning, and good morning, Joe. Good to see you. Pauline Baker, top of the morning, Glen and Art from the Emerald Isle. Pauline and Malcolm always checking in with us. Normally they are here flying balloons. They're not with us this year as a pilot, but good morning, Pauline and Malcolm. I'm sorry. Good to see you. I was thinking Michael because Michael Buckle and his lovely was fiancée, then bride, now wife, Georgie, and their dog Tilly have been tuning in daily, and so just want to get the terminology right there. They've been checking in every day from the UK. So, good to see all the folks checking in and saying good morning, as always.
Over here on the YouTube side, we're hearing from Elizabethtown, also from Cleveland, from Albuquerque, from the Bronx, from England, from the nation's capital. That's the way they've put it in there. From Missouri, and let's see, Mexico, not just Mississippi, Austin, Texas. So we've got folks watching from all around the world.
Yeah,
again.
Ina van der Kratz, as always, from the Netherlands, checking in early. Grand Lake, Oklahoma, Mesquite, Texas, Luzerne, Switzerland, which has hosted meetings of the FAI, the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale.
From rainy Belton, South Carolina, Topeka, Kansas, Arkansas.
Southeast Wisconsin, Sandusky, Ohio, Missouri.
Another one from England, somebody from right here in the park, from Balloon Fiesta Park. Hi, Sam.
Good morning from Brazil. So quite an international group this morning, and that might be attributable to today being Special Shapes Day.
Always a fun day. Yep, Boise, Idaho's in the house, Belgium, New Jersey, Sugar Land, Texas, and Toronto. So, of course, once you start saying those, then everybody's got to get theirs in.
Right, then suddenly everybody starts checking in with their locations. Dry Prong, Louisiana. I live in Louisiana. I never heard of Dry Prong. It's kind of like being from Texas and learning that there's a town called Cut and Shoot. Wausau, Wisconsin. From Albuquerque Southwest, okay. Norman, Oklahoma. And let's see. Beth Magnan says, wakey, wakey. Yes, we are on a wakey, wakey hour. Dan Drogi from Longview, Texas is watching. Good morning, Dan. And so, yeah, people checking in from all over the place. Marble Falls, Texas. Lake Eufaula, Oklahoma. Good morning from Diamond Hot Air Balloons in Breadstone in England. Shout out to the big boss, Andrew Holly. So, Andrew, your staff are up and watching. Well, we shouldn't say up because over there it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, so it's a good thing they're up.
Yeah, they,
and not
they darn well better be up, and they better be at the office working if I know Andrew. So, yeah, absolutely.
So we continue to monitor pilots briefing over there, and as soon as they get to the weather, we'll kick over there and find out what the weather conditions are here at Balloon Fiesta Park. As we reported, right now it's kind of nice right here.
It really is.
Our Dawn Patrol team seems pretty stable on the ground, but all of the forecasts are for strong winds aloft and for winds to pick up very heavy in just a couple of hours. So we'll get the official word from the pilots briefing and Brad Tiemeyer, the rest of the weather team over there, and then of course the flight static decision, whatever that may be, from Henry Rosenbaum and the rest of the team over there. So you'll hear it officially here first. Lots of people speculating, oh, they're going to do this and they're going to do that. Well, it doesn't happen until they tell the pilots it's going to happen. So
and
you'll
be
able
there
to see
when they find that out.
Yeah,
so,
you can see there's the shot of the flag. So,
at
the moment, right here on the park, it's
deceptively calm. Yeah.
Yes.
Another quick shout out as I'm going through our chat room here. Louise Moore says, good morning, Glen, from Louise and Grace over in the UK. They're part of the exclusive ballooning team and my very dear friends. Grace is my honorary second niece over in the UK, so I've got to do a shout out to my first niece, Roma, who is Andrew Holly's daughter. She's been homesick from school yesterday, so hope Roma is feeling a bit better. But Louise and Tom and Grace, great friends over in the UK that I get to visit every year over at Sky Safari. Guy Bennett, hey Guy, I saw you were here. Didn't know that. Saw all the pictures you posted with Sam Parks yesterday. So glad to know that you're here doing well. Guy is part of the Gay is part of the group from the Great Texas Balloon Race in Longview, Texas. Worked with them for a number of years, about 25 years as part of that event.
Here's one for you. My child and family are there from Tennessee. I'm watching from Vermont. So and
okay.
Patrick Smith from one of the balloon insurance companies, Aviation Insurance Resources, is watching from Frederick. Wow. So hi, Patrick. Good morning.
Yeah. Anders Akavist says, good morning from Gothenburg, Sweden. Can't believe it's 21 years since I participated in Fiesta. Wish I was there. Well, come on back, you know.
Look at the moon.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. What a nice shot. It almost is looking like an eclipse.
Yeah, actually it is.
Doesn't it?
It's almost like the moon is eclipsing itself.
Yeah, because of the light that's there. And, of course, the eclipse scheduled for Saturday morning, right after our flying time. So we'll have a mass ascension Saturday, and then the balloons will come back, and the annular eclipse will start somewhere around, I think it's 9:13,
something like that.
Shortly after 9.
Yeah.
And it gets into the and the maximum, it's not the totality, it's the maximum of the annularity at about 1035.
Because there really isn't
it's not a total.
It's not a total because there will be, if we can see it, there'll be a ring of fire. They call it a ring of fire.
Right,
Basically, the
because
sun will still be visible around the very edge. Here's David Romero doing a quick shout out from the city of Las Vegas, New Mexico. Proud sponsor again this year of Los Globitos. Those, of course, are our RC balloons. And did we get any word on officially whether they think they got the record or not? They were trying.
Well, I got an update.
Okay.
So
we won't know officially until they send all the data into Guinness and decide if they got the record. But they were trying for a world record for the most RC balloons inflated simultaneously at the same time.
One of those.
Yeah.
So we had unofficially 60 RC balloons, or Los Globitos. We're going to come back to that because they've just started weather over at the pilots briefing.
Let's go listen.
So let's go there, and we'll bring you up to date on the RCs afterwards.
And given that that's the case, we had a cold front that's associated with it that went through the region between 3 and 4 o'clock this morning, and I'll show you that here in a second. We'll start with the latest observations. Right now at Albuquerque Sunport, it is 58 degrees, and that's why everybody's in short sleeves this morning. Dew point is 29 degrees, relative humidity 33%. Barometric pressure is rising at 29.72 inches of mercury, and the wind down there is 310 at 7 knots. Up at Double Eagle to the north, the temperature is 46 degrees, dew point of 27, relative humidity 46%. Barometric pressure is rising at 29.73 inches of mercury. They're reporting a variable wind at 5 knots, sky condition clear, and 10 miles visibility unrestricted. Density altitude at Albuquerque Sunport is 6,800 feet, and Double Eagle is 6,700 feet. So we've got this cold front that's worked its way through, and on the DTEC system, you can see that our winds have really decreased over the last few hours, and everything's running out of the northwest and then westerly aloft. So if I expand this just a little bit further, you can see over on the far left-hand side of the screen there, that's where the wind shift was. So it was right after 3 o'clock this morning when that cold front came through. And since then, we've seen a little bit of decoupling in the atmosphere, and that's allowed for these light winds in the near surface layer temporarily. So the expectation is that through the morning hours, we're going to see an increase in winds, and the Weather Service has issued a wind advisory across the area for wind gusts of 40 to 45 miles an hour, and that runs through 7 o'clock tonight. The expectation is that winds will really start to increase after about, let's say 8:30 this morning, and it'll be an increase throughout the morning, peaking in that 1 to 3 o'clock time frame this afternoon, where we could see the strongest wind gusts, and then we'll see winds decreasing through the remainder of the afternoon and then rapidly falling towards sunset. So I wouldn't entirely rule out the glow tonight, but it's going to be kind of a wait and see on that type of thing. In terms of the TAF itself, for Albuquerque Sunport, they are calling for 320 at 8 knots, visibility greater than 6 miles, scattered 7,000 feet. After 9 o'clock, they have gusty winds of 290 at 12, gusts to 20, visibility greater than 6 miles, and few 8,000 feet. And then they increase the gusts later on, late this morning after 11 a.m. Up at Double Eagle, they have a forecasted wind right now of 310 at 8, gusts to 15, visibility greater than 6 miles, scattered 7,000 ceiling, or not a ceiling, but scattered 7,000 clouds. Not after 9 a.m., 280 at 20, gusts to 31, with a visibility greater than 6 miles and few 8,000. And then they bring the gusts even higher after noon. So basically the expectation, like I said, is that we've got a small window here, I think, of a couple hours. We did just launch a wind sonde. You might have seen a blue light going across the field here just in the last 5 minutes to get the inversion temperature. So we're going to have a good understanding of when those winds are going to come up, and we'll communicate that to you. When I was looking at the forecast this morning, it looked like the profile was just going to entirely cool throughout the morning hours, so it's really kind of going to be a challenging morning to figure out exactly when those winds are going to come up. But I think it's going to be a gradual process, and then by, like I said, 9, 10 a.m., we should be gusting pretty good across the area. With that, I have Lovick in the back, ready to launch the pie ball for everybody to see this morning. Are there any launch directors in the area to give him permission to launch?
So there you have it.
Nice winds right now.
Good for the next couple of hours.
Right.
So we've got a window of opportunity to see the special shapes this morning. But later in the morning, 8:30-ish to 9, we're going to expect to see the winds start to kick up. They're going to get very strong through the afternoon. And then, fingers crossed, there goes on the screen, you see the windsawn balloon.
That's the pieball that they just released.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's right. It had the blue light, or that may be a white one, but it was blue. Can't see it against the studio lights, but anyway.
Yeah, we've always cut away just as they're going to launch that.
And they bring,
we should just take a second. They bring up some aspiring pilots.
Yes.
And let them launch that
pick a young person
balloon
out of the crowd who gets to launch the balloon for the day, so that's always fun. But basically, you heard Brad say that, hopefully, fingers crossed, and once the winds hit their peak, about the 1 to 3 o'clock time frame this afternoon, he said, then they will start to die off rapidly, and we still have a shot at tonight's balloon glow.
We do.
Special Shapes Rodeo Glodeo. So it might be a much better day than we were anticipating yesterday as we were looking forward.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
The scary part of what was in that forecast for me was all the gusts.
Yes.
Because then you're trying to do something and all of a sudden that gust hits you and it takes you the wrong way. So, yes, moving forward on the side of caution. So we are planning to do a static display. That's going to be the next part of the briefing over there this morning. The pilots will officially be told that that decision had already been made and communicated to us, so we can pass that along to you officially now that we are doing a static display here this morning.
And I think clearly that's what we're seeing with Dawn Patrol. They are doing a bit of a mini early morning glow for us. And as you can see, as we've been saying, it is deceptively calm because we all expected it to be a bit windy this morning.
So
it's
maybe
not
unexpectedly
calm.
Calm.
Would be a better term, yeah. But it is very nice on the field right now, and the anticipation is that will remain, that will stay with us, these calm winds, until at least about 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30-ish. So it'll give us a good 1 hour or an hour and a half window to get all the shapes up, to do a static display, let you see the shapes this morning. Before, caution would urge that we take the balloons down then, before those gusty winds begin to hit.
But there are lots of things to do here on the field even before we stand up the balloons.
Tons of stuff.
And then after we have them stood up for a while, after you've managed to work your way from one end of the field to the other and seen up close and personal all 107 or so special shapes, plus our regular balloons, because the regular pilots will be standing up or should be standing up as well.
The field is open for them to do so if they want,
Yeah. So we'll be seeing that. There's an all burn from the Dawn Patrol team. But, yeah, lots and lots of great stuff to do and see here.
It's one of those mornings when, all the vendors are already open along Main Street, so it's one of those great mornings to do shopping, either while you're looking at the shapes or immediately following once the wind kicks up, or as the wind is coming up, if indeed it does. And, we always talk about all the official merchandise. I know they've already sold out of some things. They're pre-ordering, restock, if you will. So if you haven't been over along Main Street spending some money, probably ought to do so today.
Today would be a great day to do that.
Yeah.
It definitely would be. Yes, I probably should re-mention this. We've had a couple of very special pins that have been in extraordinary high demand.
Yes.
And that is the solar eclipse pin, which actually has a little slider balloon on it. The Fiesta balloon actually slides across the sun. So you can start at the beginning of the eclipse, stop in the middle where you have a full eclipse,
right,
and then move over, all on the pin. And we put those out a couple of months ago, and our initial stock sold out probably within about hours.
Yeah.
And so we immediately ordered a whole lot more, and those have sold out online and in our gift shop. But we had a stock of inventory set up for our merchandise tents, and we're kind of rationing them out with so many available each day. So if you only come one day, you still have an opportunity
to do that.
You still have a shot
at getting one.
But even that, the demand has been so great for those pins that we have decided to take a pre-order for those, and we will make yet one more order of those pins. And so you can go on balloonfiestastuff.com and place a pre-order for your Eclipse pins.
And then get it after Fiesta.
Yeah, we're thinking that it'll probably ship towards the end of November. We're going to leave the pre-order open probably till the end of October. It takes us about a month or so to get them in, and then we would get them to you. But you should have them definitely before Christmas. Now, the other pin is the Marvin the Martian pin. And so Marvin's coming in with this Area 51 changed to AIBF, or Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta 51. And so he's kind of coming in his space shift, et cetera. And that's another one that we didn't even release it until Saturday, just 5 days ago, 6 days ago. And the demand for Marvin has been tremendous as well. So Marvin's pin is also available on pre-order. I have to tell you, one of the other things I do here is to run the back end of the store.
I was going to say, it's not like you have enough jobs as it is, as the executive producer of this show, and then you're the coordinator of all the official photographers. So they're getting their money's worth out of you, buddy.
They absolutely do. So Tuesday night, I was setting up and verifying the pre-order that was going to go live yesterday morning. And I'm just testing it to make sure that I've done some stuff right. And in the process of testing it, 6 orders came through. and one actually slipped through before it was truly all the way set up, because you have to, how it is, you're working on the back end, you do a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit there, and so it's kind of coming up in stages, and people were obviously hitting refresh, trying to see it.
Trying to get their order in.
Yeah, and so we had a number of orders slip through while I was still setting up and testing it.
Yeah.
And so, but...
it's kind of like, I was trying to do a remote bank deposit yesterday with mobile banking on my phone, and the Wi-Fi connection at the hotel wasn't the best, and it kept saying, sorry, unable to complete your task, try again. And I kept trying again. Finally, I just backed out and started all over again, and I get a message that says, this check has already been submitted for deposit. And wait a minute. So it never told me it had been accepted. It kept saying, try again, we can't do it, and then apparently it worked anyway. So isn't technology wonderful sometimes? And
finishing up on the merchandise, I was over there yesterday, and they have reordered a number of the shirts that we can turn around quickly. And so there's a new shipment of shirts coming in. It might even have gotten here yesterday. So, yes, we're trying to, where we can, because our merchandise and our clothing especially is all custom made for us.
Right.
Or custom printed on other existing stock, those types of things. So we're constantly saying, you know what, this is starting to sell out. We need to order more if we can. Sometimes the turnaround is way too great and there's just no way to do that. But some of the stuff that we can get turned around quickly and get it in, we're working to do that as well. So Lisa Mulder and Shawnee Cabatoni, who were on the show the other day, doing a great job of trying to keep up with the demand and get the merchandise out there for folks. And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was basically done.
Okay, no, I wanted to give a shout out to safety real quick, because I don't know if it's authorized or not, but I think I'm seeing a drone operating just up over the manufacturer's tents. You see that green light? Right, if you look at the...
Can't see around the building.
Okay, well, where I'm at, there's right above the manufacturer's tents, just this side of the Sid Cutter Pavilion, there's a green light, and there it goes rising. And now you can see it clearly rising against the mountain. So there's a drone over there. I don't know if that's one of our official drones, if it's authorized, but I mean, I know we have a restriction on this area for non-authorized drones. So I just wanted safety to be aware that that's over there. If it's official, fine. Sorry, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but if it's an unofficial one, safety will want to know about it and get it out of the area.
Yeah, there is one drone company that we work with to provide drone shots of the field.
Okay.
So mostly for some documentation and some marketing types of things. So hopefully that's them.
Hopefully that's them, and my apologies if I'm calling someone out unnecessarily. But I just know it's something that I thought safety would want to be aware of in case it was not one of our.
But there are hundreds, thousands of drone pilots and drone owners in the area. And everyone says, well, that's going to be the great shot. I'm going to get there and do it in my drone. And you mentioned that we have a TFR, or temporary flight restriction.
That's right.
For 4 miles around from the center of the park.
Yep.
So if you are flying your drone, you need to be outside that 4-mile radius from the center of the park.
Yep.
You are violating the federal aviation regulations, or the FARs, if you come in here, and you will be cited.
That's right. They do have software that can geolocate where the drone is and where the operator is. And there will be some men in black suits that will show up and tap you on the shoulder. It will not be a fun experience. So if you have a drone and you're operating in our airspace and you're not officially registered with Fiesta, then don't. That would
Exactly.
be the best advice I could give you.
Look who's inflating.
I was just about to say, look who's inflating. We're talking about new special shapes, and there are always, a handful of new shapes that are here for the first time. This is one of them. This is Tiny the Fire Dog. This is our balloon meister, Henry Rosenbaum's balloon.
Tiny.
He came up and shared some information with us about yesterday. Tiny. Unfortunately, because he's working as the balloon meister, he's not flying the balloon. And there is an RC version of Tiny the Fire Dog. Tiny is named in honor of a deputy fire chief. I don't have my card with me this morning. It has all those details on it. I should have brought that. But I do remember that much about it, that the gentleman's name was Tiny, and you can see it on the name tag there on the dog's collar.
And then when we get a little more light in there, if you just look really
the
close,
blue stripe.
you can see part of the blue stripe for the for the law enforcement folks, and on the other side, which we can't see, is red for the firefighters, EMT, those types of folks.
And those are for fallen firefighters and first responders, police, law enforcement.
And then on the back was,
on the back
told us about yellow.
There's a yellow band, and I'm trying to remember.
That was for all the dispatchers and the folks that work
the communicators.
Yeah, the communication folks there that are really, if you really think about it, they're really the first line of folks that you talk to dispatch the first
they're
responders.
The ones that say 911, what is your emergency,
yes.
and then they dispatch, send the necessary help that you need to you. And then there's also a banner on the backside of the balloon for the Move Over program. And as we were learning yesterday, every state in the union has a Move Over law, which basically is when you see a first responder or other vehicles on the side of on the shoulder of the road, or perhaps stalled in a lane, you're supposed to slow down and move over, give them right of way, particularly either like highway work crews, or if a state trooper has pulled someone over for speeding or whatever, you're supposed to slow down and move over for their safety.
Right.
And so Tiny the Fire Dog is
kind of like you move to the right when the car is coming up behind you, but if they're stopped over on the right or the left, slow down and move around and move away from them as well.
Yeah.
So before we went to pilot's briefing, we were talking about the RC balloons, or the Los Globitos balloons, and I told you that we would get back to that. Then we started talking about other things, and so someone on the feed reminded me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so there's a display of some of our pins there. So as I get distracted again. So the 51st
Something
number.
else to talk about.
The other thing that I can talk about on those pins, you notice there's two that are 51, and pretty much everything else except public safety is set up as a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah,
a hexagon?
Hexagon.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, six hexagon.
And so you can take all of those pins and make one
like a
big
puzzle.
hexagon puzzle.
Yeah.
And it makes a really cool shape there. So
even our announcer pins and Balloon Fiesta Live pins are that
fit
way.
into that as
they
well.
Fit into that puzzle.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Public safety, the 51 pins are basically the only ones that don't line up with that.
Oh.
Yeah. I think, and maybe Marvin.
I had no idea. I just know ours were that same shape. And I didn't know why. I just whatever. Yeah. There's an example.
And those are the patches, the large patch and the small patches as well. So. Yeah, you can do the same thing with the patches.
So you can actually do the same thing with the patches then. That would be make one great big patch on the back of your jacket.
Yeah, there's not as many patches as there are pins.
Sure, yeah.
Back to the Los Globitos.
Yeah, let's wrap that discussion up.
Unofficial count is that we stood up 60 balloons yesterday, so that we have the number. Now the question is, a part of setting that record is you have to have them all up for a certain period of time, and I think it's like 5 minutes. So they're reviewing the video and those types of things to see if they indeed have the 60 up for the length of time to be able to claim the world record.
Okay.
And then, of course, we talked yesterday, the Guinness Book of World Records folks are not actually on site, so we have to put all that documentation together, the pictures, the videos, all that kind of stuff together, and send it off to Guinness for certification that this is indeed a record. So I'm going to say we believe we have it.
Right.
It appears we have it, but we're going to have to kind of go forward and just figure out what Guinness actually says and whether they accept that documentation.
Okay.
And we've mentioned that our Los Globitos, our RC balloons, sponsored this year by the city of Las Vegas.
Yes.
And we need to add that is Las Vegas, New Mexico.
That's right. Not Lost Wages,
right.
but Las Vegas.
Yeah, just a little sleepy town up there a little bit north of Santa Fe. A great place, home of a couple of colleges up there. And they've sponsored a number of different things here at Balloon Fiesta over the past couple of years.
Okay.
So thanks to the city of Las Vegas,
Indeed.
New Mexico, for sponsoring our RC balloons.
Indeed. So we have a guest on the tower with us on the rooftop studio. I keep saying tower. That's what we used to call this place.
Yeah.
On the rooftop studio. I don't know if we're going to get a camera around to him or not. It looks like we're trying to.
Yep. So let's just go. We're going to go there.
All right, we're going to go there. I didn't know if we're going to turn lights around and all that sort of stuff. Just going to say good morning to Johnny Petrin.
Morning, guys. Happy to be here.
Hey,
Nice
thanks for
to
coming
see
up.
you.
So, Deputy Director of the Gordon Bennett, everybody is down, and the race is over now. Bring us up to speed on everything.
The race is over. It's not officially over. We're still calculating distances and double-checking all of the fine details in the command center and race control. But the balloons are down. Looks like everybody had reading their comments on on our WhatsApp groups. Most of these pilots had personal best distances and durations, and
Great.
I think everybody ended up, or most people ended up with the flight of their lives.
I know one of the great things everybody was excited about flying in the U.S. is that our airspace is much less restricted, and you can go for those much longer distances than we typically would see when the race is over in Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's really exciting is the trajectories that we were running over the weekend. We didn't know if half of these balloons were going to get out of New Mexico, let alone fly all the way across the United States. So we were happy, the pilots were happy, the crews were happy to see the speeds pick up, and everybody went off to the west and really got some good distances.
Yeah, you're one of those folks, there are a lot of people here, like we talked about Art, who's wearing a lot of hats this weekend. You were, of course, working with the Gordon Bennett race, as we've just discussed. You're flying in the competition, and you've had a couple of good days so far, Johnny, it looks like.
Yeah, Tuesday morning we were actually all night in the competition center working on strategies and coordinating with crews. So I was up all night Tuesday night. We finished up with Gordon Bennett TV right around 6:30, and my crew was here on the field. I didn't think we were going to get to fly, and I got out of there just in time. I was able to get a supplemental pilot briefing and ran down south and took off and flew back in here and threw some markers on the field.
You also, by witness of the shirt that you're wearing, you have a brand new position in life. You're now, am I correct, you are the operations director, U.S. operations director for Ultra Magic Balloons?
Yeah, life's kind of taken an interesting turn the last few months, but yeah, we're going to, I'm the director of operations in the United States for Ultra Magic. We're really going to increase the presence of the factory in the United States, and we hope to sell a lot of balloons and make the skies even prettier here.
They're a manufacturer, of course, located over in Spain. They do have a booth on the field, so I'm sure some of the technology, I know when they celebrated their 40th anniversary just recently, one of the things that struck me was a new basket they introduced that has like maybe a 30 or 45 degree angled top where it's higher in the back and lower in the front. I think, and there were chairs with even tray tables. I mean, it's almost like an airliner.
Yeah, that's our Vista basket, and they are seats. It's specially made for, you can sit down and strap in, and it's also accessible for handicap and others. Mm-hmm. And we even have a new one that we just finished, and it's a two-seater. So the pilot stands behind you, and you sit down, and your tray table comes down, and the passengers can have a sip of champagne and some charcuterie while they're flying over the vineyards. It's pretty special.
Ballooning has changed in the years that I've been doing it, and I know you as well. So, any plans coming up for the competition? You're going to be in it to the end, I trust.
Well, the balloon competition is now down until one more flight tomorrow morning. So right. We're going to hope that the wind gets out of here, which I think it's forecasted to do. So hopefully we'll have a nice, challenging day of competition. We're nowhere near the leader right now, but we'll be doing our best to try to get up there.
Well, you are a past world champion, and I know you just returned from a pre-Worlds competition flying with Joe Zavada over in Europe. So looking forward to next year's Worlds competition?
Oh, for sure. We went over to the pre-Worlds this year, and we had fantastic weather. We flew 12 competition flights, I think 42 tasks, and really got a feel for the area and figured out where the roads go and where we want to stay and some good restaurants to eat. So yeah, next year in
all the
early
real
September.
important places.
Yeah,
Yeah, next year in early September, we'll be in Hungary for several weeks before we come to Albuquerque.
Outstanding, outstanding. Well, thanks for dropping by this morning.
I want to get back just real quick
Okay.
to Gordon Bennett. Have you had a chance to talk to the teams that are on their way back?
Yeah.
Are any of them back in town yet? Are they still on their way? What's the status of them now?
I saw a few of the teams last night at the Special Shapes Flight of the Nations celebration. I think they were just starting to trickle back into town. I heard one team stopped in New Orleans maybe to have a little bit of fun. And I know another team is doing some touring in Dallas right now and maybe stopped to see our friends there. So they're working their way back in. We've got an awards celebration on Saturday night,
Right.
that we're going to kind of get together and
So that's kind of
everybody's-
their target. Get back here for Saturday.
Yeah,
for that.
all the stories will be told between now and then. We're seeing a lot on people's Facebook posts, and it was fascinating, the Eimers team, to watch. They looked at every possible way they could to go out over the water and creep back onto the land.
Yeah.
And showed every trajectory, every wind at every different altitude, and they just couldn't find it.
It just wasn't there.
But it was so fun to watch this go down, just to a neck-and-neck competition, and it was super friendly, and they were bantering back and forth with the in between the teams on WhatsApp. So it was just fun to see it go that far and that long and come down to really incredible piloting skills from both of those teams.
And you know, we got a lot of feedback because the balloons were flying low to keep those speeds up. All across the country, from folks are saying, "Hey, they're flying over my house. They're flying over
People
here.
were posting
they're flying
pictures
there."
that they were seeing
Yeah.
one of the balloons and flying overhead.
Yeah, a couple balloons in Mississippi, they landed, and 5 minutes later, there's balloonists in the area pulled up
Right.
before their chase crew teams. I mean, you can see within 5 minutes of where these balloons are, so all the way across the country. I had friends in Dallas that sent pictures of the balloons flying overhead. I had a friend flying a small airplane that took a picture of the balloon out of
nice.
the window. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, it's really neat to be able to see these people, see the balloon teams as they track all the way across.
Before we let you go, one last thing. You mentioned Dallas. Any update on the Polish team? I know there are no life-threatening injuries, thank goodness for that, but I assume they're getting the support they need, and the help and recovery will go well?
Yeah, last I heard they're doing really well and in good spirits. I've seen some photos. I've not talked to them, but I've seen some photos and some thumbs up and thank you for the well wishes from them. So we wish them a speedy recovery, and we know they're in good hands there in Dallas, and all the teams, we all have our thoughts with them and for a speedy recovery.
Outstanding.
Well, do pass our best wishes, and thanks to all
Yeah.
the competitors there for just a fabulous race in time. And we probably won't get to see them, so pass our congratulations along to all of them for just a fantastic 66th Gordon Bennett event here.
Yeah, they definitely put on a good show for us. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll wave to you as I'm flying over.
All right,
We'll be
look
down
forward
there
to
watching
it.
for you.
All right, see you
Johnny
guys.
Petrin, thanks
Thanks,
for
Johnny.
coming by.
Johnny Petrin.
Worth taking just a quick rundown, the unofficial again, because
Uh-huh.
they're still calculating things, but
Right.
unofficially, France 2 has won that race, followed by Germany 1. That's the Eimers we just talked about.
Right.
Then France 1, USA 1, USA 2 in 5th, Spain was in 6th, Germany 2 was in 7th, Austria was 2 was in 8th, USA 3 was in 9th, Austria 1 was in 10th, Great Britain finished 11th, Poland 1 12th, Poland 2 13th, German 3 14th, Lithuania was in 15th, Switzerland in 16th, and unfortunately France team number 3 was the team that inflated here,
But then had
then had a leak and
right,
actually
and
did not get to launch.
There's the map on the big video wall and online on Balloon Fiesta Live that shows you the final landing spots of all the balloons. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
right across a number of great towns all across the southern part of the U.S.
yeah, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, South
Mississippi,
Carolina.
yeah, and up into, yeah. And then the other really cool thing that happened when they got over to the coast, the two teams that were still going, the Germans and the French there, you notice that they started catching a way to go literally right up the coast. You actually see it right behind
Exactly.
where the board is.
They came across about Atlanta and then turned north and started sliding right up along the coast. And as you heard Johnny say, Benny and Willie Eimers were actually looking for a way to maybe go out over the water to get a better trajectory and then come back to land, but they just couldn't find it.
Yeah, it just wasn't there.
Because they were trying everything they could to just, once France 2 had landed, especially trying everything they could to get just a little bit further, but it just didn't work out
Just
for them.
wasn't there.
And I'm so excited for Brenda Calishaw, my very good friend, who flew with Noah Forden
Yep.
as a substitute pilot for Burt Padelt, who, as we mentioned this week, is up north still staging what hopefully will be the first transatlantic flight by a hydrogen balloon. He and Sir David Hempelman Adams and a Swiss professor that's going with them. And so Brenda was like a substitute pilot who jumped in and flew with Noah, and I was so excited when it looked like they were going to be on the podium in third place, and then at the last minute they were passed up. But a fourth place finish, well done for them. So the USA takes fourth and fifth.
Yeah, just a great race all the way across. And
yeah,
glad that so many of you across the country got an opportunity to see them flying over and experience that as well. So we were really excited to have the 66th Gordon Bennett here in Albuquerque.
Launching right off of Route 66.
Exactly.
How cool is that?
Exactly. There's Tiny lighting up.
Yep, Tiny the Fire Dog lining up, and then inflating just behind it is Xfinity in their special shaped balloon with the blue, I think blue, gold, and purple hearts on the side. That would be Sean Askren, who is their pilot. So we'll start to see in a little while, we'll start to see a lot of the special shapes take longer to inflate because of all of the appendages that have to be filled. You've got to get cold air into those so that they take shape.
Well, and if you deflated them, you have to make sure they're all sealed before you can even get the air into them.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they take a little bit longer, a little more work to get inflated, and by the same token to get deflated. But they'll be getting started here shortly as we move closer to sunrise. And the balloon of the day. And so I doubt that we'll be flying the flag for the national anthem, but I'm sure we'll have the balloon of the day stand up, maybe. I would think so. And have our anthem there at the main stage. We'll be going to that in just a little while.
Our public address announcer, Bill Royal, is on the case to
figure all that out for us.
We've tasked him to make sure he knows so that we can just throw to him and he can get it right.
All right.
And then we're not guessing down here, which happens sometimes.
Yeah, it certainly has happened in the past when we don't have as much communication as we would like, but now we do, so we should be in good shape there.
I did see a number of pilots starting to put their systems together while we were talking with Johnny and even before that. So there is a lot of pilots and crews that are getting the envelopes and baskets and everything ready so that as we get to sunrise and our national anthem, we can actually get that stand-up static display. And actually even looking down the west side of the field, a lot of burners going off.
Yeah.
Part of the pre-flight checks that balloon pilots go through. You hook the hoses or the tanks, literally connect the tanks to the burner, and you check for how much propane pressure you have. You need to have enough so that you generate the heat to get the lift you need in the balloon, but yet not so much pressure that you send the flame all the way through the top of the balloon.
Yes.
So there is a range of pressure there that most people don't even think about that you do that, because we all use our barbecue grills, and maybe you notice in the winter that it takes longer to cook something because you don't get quite the amount of heat in the winter that you would in the summertime from your burner.
Yeah, and then there's always, sometimes I can remember back in the day on a really cold day when I would heat my tanks with, or pressurize my tanks with nitrogen. And then the first time that you light up the pilot light and you open that blast valve and you get this boof.
Oh yeah,
that giant fireball of the from the pressurized propane, and like you can lose an eyebrow.
And so, better to do that without the envelope
in front of you,
it up and all that other stuff.
Yeah. So better to do a burner check without any fabric up above you, so that you can you don't have that. There's somebody honking down on the burner there for us.
Right in front of us.
So yeah, it's all there's certain protocols and safety precautions you go through in order to operate your balloon safely, of course, just like any machinery that you would be involved with.
While we're waiting for sunrise here on the field, we'll just talk to you again about the amount of food that is down there along Main Street. About 40 different booths that you can choose food of all kinds to pick up what you'd like to have for breakfast, and interspersed through them, the other half are souvenirs and items of pretty much anything you might want is available down there. At the far north end of the field, there is not only the chainsaw carving exhibition that'll be getting underway shortly, but right next to them is the BDC, or the Balloon Discovery Center, with some great hands-on things, and actually kind of a refresh there. If you've been here in the past few years, we've kind of refreshed some of the hands-on activities and displays and all that other fine stuff that you can do in the Balloon Discovery Center. I discovered this morning that we've talked about balloon cards that all the pilots have. we made balloon cards for the Balloon Discovery Center as well.
Oh.
And the balloon that is featured on the Balloon Discovery Center balloon card is the Roadrunner side of the Coyote Roadrunner balloon known as Spirits.
Cool. Well, we also have Balloon Fiesta Live cards.
Yes, we do.
And right down to it.
All of our Balloon Fiesta Live photographer team that's out there, videographers, etc., all those guys have some of those cards. So if you can find somebody from Balloon Fiesta Live, flag them down and get yourself a Balloon Fiesta Live trading card.
We've got a quick comment here from Richard over in the UK. Say, love the move over idea. We were talking about that with Tiny the Fire Dog. Says, never happens in the UK. I move over a lot in the UK because I'm not the best driving on the other side of the road. I won't say the wrong side of the road, but
the other side.
Yeah, the other side.
Well,
someone else says, what's the move over idea? We talked about that. It's a law in all 50 states that if you come upon a road work crew or an emergency vehicle, first responder, et cetera, typically they've pulled someone over to the right side of the road. You're supposed to slow down and move into the left lane to give them basically a safety area. It's for their safety, so that because too many times we've seen, for example, a police officer who's pulled someone over and is doing his or her duty on the side of the road, and someone not paying attention comes along and slams into the back of their car, and people are injured. So the move over law is actually active in all 50 of the United States, and it's just simply that when you see vehicles on the side of the road or stalled in your lane, you're supposed to move into the other lane and slow down for your safety as well as theirs.
Someone on our YouTube feed here is asking about they're done with the burner checks, and can you just do that when you're still on the ground?
Yeah, you can.
Well, my first balloon, the only balloon that I've owned, was actually a Raven system, and it had what we call a 2-point hookup. So you brought the suspension lines from the envelope, and they come down in a little A block, and they connected at the exact same point with the same pins that put the burner in.
Right.
So the Raven manual said your burner check is that inflation. And so you didn't stand it up because the burner wouldn't stay in place without the envelope A blocks
already being attached.
Right. So you couldn't really stand it up and test it. So you really did do it on the ground.
Wow.
There are a few of those systems still out
around,
there.
Yeah.
But now you have a different connection point for the burners than you do for the envelope. So you can connect the burner. It's all ready to go. Stand it up, do the check, lay it down, hook the envelope up to be able to move forward.
We had a shot on the screen just a moment ago there. There's someone taking a picture of the shot we had on the screen. That is the new Pico. Oh, that's our golf cart driver? Okay. Doing a little personal time out there. That's the new Pico balloon, and that is from St. Jean-sur-Richelieu. We've discussed that earlier this week. They've had that character shape for a while now, but they built a brand new one. The other one had gotten a little bit long in tooth, as balloon fabric does. This one is built out of a newer and a lightweight fabric. So always good to have the folks from St. Jean here with us.
I got an opportunity to catch up on some social media posts and things like that.
Yeah.
And there was a picture from their team with the envelope still wrapped up with like the packing envelope stuff around it from obviously early in the week, like maybe Friday or Saturday, and it said, Pico made it. So, yeah.
Well, okay. If you want to go there, hang on just a second. I'll show you this picture right here. There's Andrew Hawley on the balloon launch field at 3:30 this morning with his brand new special shape in the back of the truck.
Yep.
The picture says 3:30 a.m. just back. Newest balloon at Fiesta, that's for sure.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll be seeing that new special shape from Diamond Balloons here shortly this morning. So, yeah. I'm getting back over to the Facebook room now. Let's see. Just looking through some of the comments. We'll be there tomorrow. Oh, Ann is watching from down home in Louisiana. Good morning, Ann. Donna King says, my sister in Wilmington, North Carolina was at the German team's landing spot. They had several pictures and were able to give the local TV station information about the competition. So that's cool. And we heard Johnny say that, I think it was Sherry White and Mark Sullivan who landed in Mississippi, and some of the local balloonists were there to help them.
Yeah, within 5 minutes.
Yeah, before their own chase crew even caught up to them. So that's cool. Yeah, Mike Hansen used to fly with Mike down at the Natchez, Mississippi event. Says, I had an amazing time helping USA 3, Sherry White and Mark Sullivan, on their landing in Mississippi. Made a memory that will last a lifetime.
Excellent.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Well, we'll continue to make them here at Balloon Fiesta, hopefully for you as well. Great times. And again, for those of you who may just be coming onto the field or just joining us on our stream, we are waiting for sunrise and 7 o'clock local time for our Balloon of the Day and National Anthem. Following that, we will be standing up our balloons and doing a static display here on the field. The wind is calm.
Yeah, I'm looking at our anemometer just above us here, and it's not moving at all.
But that's not going to be the case for very long, according to all of our forecasts and predictions, et cetera.
Prognostications and that sort of stuff.
Yep. Well, the National Weather Service yesterday put out the high wind warning for 9 o'clock this morning.
Right.
We're talking about maybe around 8:30 we're going to start seeing, because it usually doesn't just go from nothing to 30 all at once.
No.
Kind of all of a sudden ramps up, may ramp up very quickly. And so they're thinking that we're going to start seeing that somewhere after 8 o'clock, definitely by 8:30. So the idea is to put a static display on this morning, which is, you've mentioned, we both mentioned already, gives you the perfect opportunity to go see those balloons up close and personal. They're not going to fly away from you like they would do on any other day. You can actually go see those. Oh, there we go. In fact, there's the move over banner.
We've been talking about the move over law.
Yep. And Henry from Henrico. And so with the banners of the law enforcement, and on the other side, the
Professional Firefighters Associations,
Yeah, so when there's a light there flashing on the side of the road for construction or law enforcement or whatever, it is time to move out of the way.
Slow down and move over. That's right. Look at the crowd forming in this morning. Really nice crowd down there.
Especially up,
a lot of the shapes are down there in that northeast corner in terms of launch sites. Now, I'm sure we'll spread them out because
all along the eastern side.
All along the eastern side, because it is Shapes Day. There's the green elephant laid out on the ground. It's like a squashed elephant. But yeah, we'll start to see more and more of the shapes taking shape.
And there's part of another one that almost looks like the black and white with the kind of yellowish. I bet that's Arabelle.
That looks like Arabelle to me, because the yellow would be the hoofs.
Yep. Yeah. Look, as we continue
look how
to pan
big
across.
it is. Yeah.
Yep,
Pan across, see how big it is. Yeah. So that's Arabelle, the Creamland Dairy cow. And I think Andrew, with his new shape, is down in, I think Victor 3 was what I read as his launch site. I was just going to pop into my shapes list here on our spotter app.
So that's one you could search for the pilot name, since you know it.
Oh, I could?
Yeah.
Oh, well, so I could go back out to, go in there and then go back out. Or no, just I can tap
right there.
Right.
Yep.
And can I just do last name?
Yep.
Or?
By the way, a friend of mine last night volunteered to come help you learn how to use the spotter app.
Was it somebody's 10-year-old son or?
No. Actually, it's the wife of our team lead photographer, Don Henderson.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, I got to have, you went up for dinner. I went up for a nice dinner as well last night. Went up to a friend of mine's house in Placitas. And it turned out that it was like just about 8 of us or so. And all but I think one of us actually had a connection to Apple Computer, having worked for them and with each other in some combination form here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like folks that have had that connection. We all had dinner last night and decorated balloon cookies and things like that for dessert. And so,
awesome.
But yeah, they've been here all week and they've been listening, and they said, I could come up and help him with that.
Well, help would be welcome. The problem is I rarely ever use my iPad. I've got more Apple gear than probably an Apple store. But I only typically work sitting at my desk at home on my iMac. And, I've got a new Apple Watch I'm kind of getting used to. But I rarely ever use my iPad except for when I'm here.
Yeah.
And I usually don't get the spotter app until I get here. This year you did send it to me a few days early. But I just don't spend the time I should ahead of time, learning it. So I'm kind of learning on the fly. And you would think that after several years of using it, I would learn how to use it by now, but I haven't. It's the same way with my I have one of the older click wheel iPods that I use for some of my announcing at other events. And typically I need like a 6-year-old kid to come out of the crowd to show me how to run that, because I just don't use it except on very rare occasion, and don't get a chance to figure out how to work it. So yes, any professional help would certainly be appreciated. So I'm looking at the picture of the new shape from Andrew Holly and Diamond Balloons, but the balloon says TBC, or to be, well, normally it would be TBD, to be determined. What did you mean by TBC?
Well, someone fat-fingered that when they put that in.
Oh.
But we're going to come back to that because
Okay.
it is now approaching 7 o'clock and time for our national anthem and our balloon of the day. So let's go down to our PA announcer, Bill Royal,
Good morning,
for that
Bill.
announcement.
Thank you, Art, and thank you, Glenn. Everybody get your cameras ready for the full burn that's going to happen right after our national anthem. Tiny the fire dog is ready. So ladies and gentlemen, remove your hats to honor America by singing our national anthem. Please welcome from Nashville, Tennessee, Erin Michelle.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave?
There's a burner check for you.
Yep.
That actually feels kind of nice if we could just keep that going.
Yeah, we definitely felt the heat from that,
Yeah,
didn't we,
absolutely.
up here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great job, everybody. Great
Well
job.
done.
And that's
Indeed.
something you don't see when we're going to fly away.
That's right.
So just another advantage of having a static display here this morning. So great burner show, all burned by our pilots out there as they get ready to set their balloons up for a static display here at Balloon Fiesta Park on Thursday, Special Shapes Day, the first Special Shapes Day. And now that the national anthem has been completed, wonderful job with that, we're going to start seeing all of our special shapes inflate. Again, we are going to be doing a static display. You're going to be able to wander, get up close and personal with all of those balloons and be able to see what's up inside, which I always think is the fascinating part around the shapes. They're great fun from the outside, but take a look up inside them and see what it looks like inside. And you're going to be amazed at the difference looking up inside the balloon to see how the shape is actually formed.
My Welsh friend Steve Kai, part of our exclusive ballooning team over in the UK, just sent this picture of his dog Benny. He says Benny's watching too, and I want you to look at this. Look at those eyes. Think he's excited about seeing the balloons?
I think so. Yeah.
Thanks for the picture, Steve.
Yeah, Marianne says, is that a candlestick burn? That was one heck of a candlestick burn. You betcha, Marianne.
Jack would have had to be pretty darn nimble to jump over that, I'll guarantee you. So, yeah, one big candlestick burn. We're talking about the new shape from Andrew Holly, Pico the Peacock, that's here. We hope to see it. I'm sure we'll see it shortly. There is another diamond-built balloon special shape here, and that is, well, it's Astro the Alien, but it's also got some weird long title that I have to apologize to Lee Hooper, the pilot. I never can remember. Something about his glorious leader, benevolence the leader, or something to that effect. But it's inflating on the field right now. The green alien is inflating right there. You can see him just in front of what is one of the green frogs. So, yeah, we will be having, as our theme is the view from above, and I'm talking about Area 51 and all that sort of stuff, we do have our very own alien here with us this morning. So we'll be seeing that. And that's also a special shape built by Diamond Balloons. They are the newest certified balloon manufacturer over in the UK. They're still working to get US FAA certification. So, and then the frog, let me get back into my list over here. That's one that I don't think we've seen yet this week. So I'll be, I'm going to scroll through my.
What are you looking for?
Spotting app. The frog that's inflating down there by the alien, because it's not one of the ones that we've already seen, I think. I think this is the one that's in the jumping position, I believe.
That one?
Yeah, that one.
Kermit.
But maybe, no, that's not him, though, because that one's got dark green on the top, so that's a different one.
Yeah, there's like 3 frogs here, and I think I only have, actually only have
because there's
pictures of like 2 of them in the
two that
system.
are very similar. The 2 that are, one that's in wearing suspenders. There should be a frog balloon named Ribbit. I'm just saying that for the sake of argument. Yeah, here he is. Yeah, this is the one that we're looking at now. That is Master Zaba, Dave Baker out of the UK from Thatcham in Berkshire. And, well, no, maybe it's not, because I don't see red suspenders. This one's got red suspenders. That one is not wearing red suspenders. Or a red coverall, or whatever you want to call that thing. Jumpsuit, something like that.
Right.
So, I'm confused. There are too many frog shapes.
And they're all green.
Yeah.
Make a pink frog or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've got a green elephant. Why shouldn't we have a pink frog? I think we actually have that same picture in as 2 different. Okay, we've got him there, but it seems like maybe we have the same picture in 2 different places. I don't know. Anyway, there's a green frog down on the field, inflating by the alien, by Astro the Alien.
Yeah, he is in there twice. So one of them.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah. So let me see if we have him listed under 2 different names, and someone confused the pictures.
That's what I was wondering, if someone confused the pictures, but we've got the correct.
No, it's in there with both pilots, is what it is.
Well,
we've
got him as the one I just said, Master Zava or whatever. We've also got him as Kylo the Frog.
Yeah, so we've
but it's the same photograph,
picture.
so we confused the pictures along the way somewhere. Yep. Okay. Anyway, there's a big green frog down on the field.
And the alien is standing up right by us as well.
The alien is standing up. That's Astro.
Someone has asked, they said, on the regular shaped balloons, it's pretty easy to see the parachute top or the vent at the top, and that opening. But they said it doesn't appear that they're there on the special shapes. They are there on the special shapes.
That actually is the Hoppy frog, now that I look at it, but it must have had some rebuild done to it, because it's got a darker green on top. Sorry to jump in on you there, as opposed to what the photograph shows. So I'm thinking maybe there's been, as balloons age, you can go in and like put all new fabric in, like the top. Typically, we would do the top third of the balloon.
Because that top that I was just starting to talk about.
Yeah, because
that's what gets replaced. That's where all the heat is. That's where the wear and tear on the balloon and on the fabric is.
And so that is actually Kermit the Frog, Todd Monahan from Queensbury, New York.
And if you look, that balloon was originally built in 2014, so it's approaching 10 years. That would be the time. It would
make sense that it would be time to put a new top in the balloon, because where all the majority of the heat, obviously hot air rises, so all of the extensive, not extensive, but I'll think of the word in a minute. Anyway, all of the heat basically is at the top of the balloon, and so the top fabric is what wears out first. That's what I'm trying to get around to saying.
Yeah.
And so it would make sense, like you say, the balloon's now almost 10 years old. It would make sense it would be time to put new fabric in, and clearly when they did, they went with a darker green, and the photo that we have doesn't reflect that, because the photo is an older photo of the balloon. So there.
We were talking
Kermit the
about
Frog.
that. We were talking about that top and how easy it is to see in a regular shaped balloon.
Right.
And very obvious as you go through that inflation process and deflation process. And they were asking about whether that is indeed there in a special shape, and yes, it is. The issue is that many times it is hidden because of the shape.
Because of the shape. Now, in some cases, it's not. If you look at the alien, you can see the top is right up at
It's
the top
gonna be
of
right
his head. You know, the alien gets a lobotomy done and he deflates. So,
and if you look at Kermit, you can see it's basically a regular shaped balloon with the head and the legs coming off the side. So it's got that as well.
Yep.
But the little prince that was right there, or even
look at the elephant,
the elephant here, it's going to be, it's kind of there. It's kind of like between his eyebrows and behind it. So
kind of the back
shape,
of his head.
Yeah, the shape tends to masquerade it. And sometimes it's even a smaller deflation port up there because depending on the shape.
Right. Well, and special shapes also usually have multiple deflation ports in the appendages. You know, I can remember literally being on the back lawn of Malcolm Forbes Chateau in France when some new Cameron shapes developed. They flew the balloon and then came back and said, you know, we had a hard time deflating it, so we need a deflation port here. And they would literally just take a knife or a razor blade and go rip, you know, and then
go sew a
go
deflation
sew in
port.
the Velcro deflation port
Yeah.
there, so they could get air like out of the, for example, out of the elephant's feet. There might be deflation ports there that open up to get the air out of that appendage, that portion of the envelope.
Hopefully our engineering skills have gotten better so
Let's hope
that you
so.
can predict.
Well, there's the top on
Arabelle.
And see, that's
Yeah.
right in the middle of the spine of the back of the cow.
So you're looking at the feet, you're looking at the face, the tail, and you don't look at the top of her back.
Right.
Yeah,
But
and
yet
from the
that's-
side, you're not going to see that. But yes, that's exactly right. Good catch.
And that's also when we talk about so many special shapes, almost every special shape is designed around a traditional teardrop round balloon. And that's exactly what you saw there with Arabelle. The center of the cow is actually structured like a standard round balloon, and that's where the parachute top is. And then all the rest of the shape, the things that make it a cow, are essentially extensions onto that round balloon. Same with Kermit the Frog, which is a great example. The body of the frog is just, if you take the head and the legs off, it's just a standard teardrop-shaped round balloon.
Yep.
And then it's got the big three-dimensional head and the eyeballs and the feet and the legs attached to it, and that makes it a special shape.
Which is why we told folks this is the day to go literally up to the basket and look up inside, and you'll see that regular shape, and you'll see those inflation ports, if you will, that are filling up all those appendages.
Yeah, you'll see that there'll be in the side of the balloon, there'll be round holes in the side of the balloon inside, and that allows the air to flow out and fill those appendages. A lot of times, too, with square, especially with a square balloon.
Well, look at what's happening on the Montgolfier replica here.
Yeah, see, all the air hasn't got into the sheep yet.
Yeah, or into the bottom ring,
Exactly.
around the bottom. Yeah, because that's still filling up with cold air,
Right.
and eventually some warm air. It doesn't really provide any hot air for lift.
But it will fill out and take shape. We used to see
just
that.
watching it, look at it.
Yeah, a lot of times we would see that with like the polar bear balloon. We may even see it sometimes with Arabelle, where the main body takes shape, but it'll end up, and like Humpty Dumpty was kind of that way when he would stand up and be inflated, but the feet would still be kind of doing a soft shoe sort of
Yeah.
routine.
Yeah.
They're just kind of flapping around there because the air hasn't gotten into those appendages yet. We're into the animal section now, obviously, because there is, I would guess that's a mouse that's standing up, and then there's Wags, the dog from Dean Cameron. I don't know that I've seen that little mouse shape before, so that's kind of cool. And I'm guessing that's what it is, but it's...
Yep. And it doesn't show up with the mouse
Hey, there's
name.
we talked about Pencil Boy earlier this year. There he is. I just see the sunglasses. At a quick shot, you can
Okay.
see the sunglasses with all the balloons reflecting in it. So that's the shape Pencil Boy. The bees are here. Someone was asking on the feeds a day or so ago, are the bees going to be here?
And there they are. There's
are.
all three of them.
Yep, all three of them.
Right behind them is Red Devil with Kelly Sasser.
And that's, isn't that Angel?
The Prince is the
The
Little Prince is
right,
we're
right,
seeing
right.
the backside
Yeah,
of Little
yeah.
Prince.
Backside of Little Prince, who is there. So, yeah, what an awesome morning it's turning out to be.
Yep.
We've got the ExxonMobil balloon inflating here in front of us. ExxonMobil, of course, powers Balloon Fiesta and Balloon Fiesta Live.
Did you notice all the balloons here in the front row laid out in a different direction?
Yes, I noticed that.
They all laid out to the east. Normally they lay out to the south, so anticipating wind coming in from the west.
From the west.
Would be my guess.
Yeah, all of these balloons. Look all the way over
yeah,
to
all the way up. Some way out in the
preventive-
northwest are not that way, but most of the balloons are laying out.
Yeah.
Laying out the other way.
Preventive pest control way over in front of the pilot pavilion is laid out that way. So, yeah, the pilots all, because normally you want to lay your lay your balloon out downwind, and so the wind flows into the envelope,
as opposed to blowing it back over the top of you or to the
against
side
the flame,
to side
exactly.
or something like that. Yeah.
So that's a rather unusual scene. We don't normally see this
Laid out that way.
I've seen balloons laid out south to north and north to south. I don't know that I can ever recall seeing balloons laid out east to west.
Not in a very long time.
In this case, west to east.
Right.
On the field. So that's rather interesting. Good catch there. I hadn't really paid attention to that yet.
So we're being invaded by special shapes.
We are, yeah. The creatures are taking over Balloon Fiesta today. There is the Tasmanian Devil. I can just see a bit of its growling mouth down there. Looking right around the side of what looks to be the Xfinity Rewards balloon. I saw Sean Rea in his Solaire balloon there for a moment. There's the Volkswagen bus. I can just make out a little bit of it, red and white, with all the people peeking out of the picture windows.
One of our official
peppers.
photographers, the one from, we have one here from Germany, and she was looking for a picture of that balloon today.
Oh.
Maybe she wants to buy it because it's for sale.
Well,
at least it was for sale a couple of days ago.
It might have been sold by now. You
Might
never
be.
know.
Yeah. So, and all of our regular shapes starting to inflate more over on the western part of the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Taz teeth about to take a bite
exactly.
out of the heart of the Xfinity Rewards balloon.
Yeah.
Xfinity Rewards sponsors our navigators, our volunteers. And so they use the hearts to talk about how special not only their customers, but our navigators are.
That is Sean Askren, by the way, who is flying. There's the VW bus who's flying the Xfinity balloon. There's the Volkswagen bus with the surfboards on top.
And all the people in it.
Yep. And there actually is a very rare, I forget what they call that. It's either like a 7-window or a 9-window VW bus. I know if you watch the guys on, what's the two guys that go around the country picking in the United at antiques places and stuff like that. The pickers.
Yeah, I know that they have shows like that. I don't watch any of them.
Okay, well, I've seen that one a lot. I can't think of the name of the show off the top of my head. Someone in the audience will tell us. But one of them is they're both motorcycle guys, and one of them is also a Volkswagen guy. And anyway, there's a very rare now because they've been out of production for years, Volkswagen bus that was basically windows all the way around.
All the way around?
Yeah.
Take your readers off and look over there for a second.
Oh.
Okay. Get ready for your close-up, Mr. Moyer. All right. You can have our photographers up here, and one of my assignments to them on their shot sheet was to make sure you get a picture of the boss.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I was going to say
working, and I've allowed you to be in the picture.
Well, thank you so much. But I was going to say, of all the things there are to photograph here at what is the world's most photographed event, why in the world would you come up and take a picture of us?
Because we need a couple of new pictures on our website.
Okay, well,
that's why.
Otherwise, I mean, because we both have faces for radio, let's admit it. So.
Yeah, but they work okay on websites.
Well, yeah, okay. I got you. I'm with you there. So now you can see if you look now on the left of the screen on our video feed, there is the new Montgolfier replica shape, and now you can see the sheep is fully inflated. You can see all that little puffy white just to the left side of the balloon. The duck is looking at us, but on the left-hand side, right on the left corner, above the Balloon Fiesta Live logo that's in the bottom of the frame.
And how that ring filled out as well.
It filled out as well. So, yeah, it finally is now fully inflated.
Right behind him there, we saw the nose of the new Milky Way balloon, Bill Kinzer's brand new special shape.
Oh, somebody said
here. It's the head of a cow, and of the brown
okay.
cow, and we saw just the
Oh,
nose kind of
okay.
coming out of the front there.
So that's what that cow. I've seen that new cow in our spotting app here.
Yeah.
And I haven't, this
yeah,
one right here.
that one right
about?
there. Yeah. See, we have
Oh,
our
yeah,
artwork
Milky
because
Way.
the balloon is brand new.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because someone earlier in the Facebook feed I was watching, there was a comment, something about the Milky Way or say hello to the Milky Way, and I wasn't quite tuned in to what they were talking about. But
Feed over here is telling me the show you were trying to think of was American Pickers.
American Pickers. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mike, one of the two co-hosts on the show, is kind of a Volkswagen guy as well as being motorcycle guys.
Yeah, they're giving us all kinds of names about those. Look at the shape on this here, the octopus on the side of.
yeah.
That's the aquarium one, I think, is what I caught before we zoomed in on it. Yeah, so there. Yeah, as we zoom out, we see more of the feet. There's the Milky Way nose and
I
eye
see
kind
it.
of peeking out
Right.
around the back of the Montgolfier.
Yeah. This is another one of those mornings where we have to rely a lot on our crack camera operators because our view gets blocked by the balloons that are inflating right here in front of us, and so our view down the field where a lot of the special shapes are gets blocked, and we have to rely to what we can see on our video screen.
Yeah, there's the full fish bowl.
Oh yeah, the fish bowl.
that we were looking at the
And there is
octopus, et cetera, on there. Something fishy. Oh, that's Sean Aiken's balloon. I didn't realize Sean had picked up that balloon. The fishbowl things
okay.
there. Yeah.
And then isn't that
Steggy behind him.
Steggy, yeah, the dinosaur, one of several dinosaur balloons. Jurassic Park is alive and well at Balloon Fiesta Park.
Not only in the full-size balloons, but in the RC
In the
world
RCs
as well. We saw that.
Yeah, we saw that. Solaire is in the air. Brian Evans says, yes, good morning to everyone. Good morning, Sean. Sean Rea in the Solaire balloon. We saw him for just a moment. I can see the KKOB balloon right down in the center of the field. Just see it right there to the left of the screen, right by our Balloon Fiesta Live.
I'm trying to check out
logo.
whose sunglasses those are. Is that Lindy or is that one of the other ones with sunglasses?
No, I think that's, I'm thinking that might have been the koala bear that has sunglasses.
Yeah, and the regular shapes are kind of standing up in front of there.
Because there's Adelaide, the Sky Safari koala bear. You can just see it way back there behind the clock. But there is another one here that has sunglasses on. Or no, it's not that shape. It's something else. What is this?
Oh, no, I know. That is...
Is that a soccer ball?
Yeah, I think it's called Spiker.
Okay.
At least it used to be. Let me see if I can find it here. So I said it didn't. It looked a little bit like Lindy, but it's not. Yeah, it is Striker. Patrick Rogren from Cleveland, North Carolina. The soccer ball with the sunglasses and the headset radio, the headphones up on top.
Reminds me, there used to be a special shape for Radio 1 over in the UK.
Yeah.
BBC's Radio 1. That was a disc jockey, basically, with the big headphones on. Kind of reminds me of that. There is Wes the Wolf on our screen. We're down amongst the Sky Safari team now because there is Adelaide the koala bear, the backside of it, where you can read Longleat Sky Safari. And that is Ashley Moore with Wes the Wolf. That's just inflating. There's the upside down Humpty Dumpty down there. We have two Humpties. Rich Lawhorn has the right side up Humpty Dumpty. And then we have the upside down Humpty Dumpty here with us as well for Shapes Day.
We talked about we're doing a static display here on the field today, meaning the balloons are going to stand up and stay inflated on the field so that you can wander in and among all of them and see them up close and personal. And after you have seen all 550 balloons, there's lots of other things to do here on the field.
There is.
And, being an outdoor sport, we connect with a lot of folks. And I got a couple of things that I'd like to take a moment and talk about here. We have a new exhibitor with us this year that has brought a new series of electric bicycles out to us. And so, Alex, I think we've got you down there in the southeast corner of the field. Good morning.
Good morning to you guys. Hope you guys are doing well today.
Hey, so tell me about your bikes and what's going on there.
So we're out here at the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta doing test rides and sales of our bikes. We've got a few different models out here. We're featuring our XP Lite at $749, giving out test rides in our booth. As you can see, we got some riders out here going around in circles, just kind of promoting and letting people enjoy the great outdoors, go a little farther with their rides.
So what's the story behind this model of bike in your company?
So this model we're featuring our XP Lite is our smallest, most collapsible. Pretty much our entire lineup folds up, so we're really big with kind of commuters. Electric's a pretty humble brand. We started with just 2 friends out of Minnesota, Rob and Levi, and then their father. Started the company, moved out to Arizona, and we've just kind of grown from there. But put our roots down here in the Southwest, and we're really enjoying it.
So does this mean someone could walk over there this morning and literally ride home on a bike?
It does. You got to walk it to the parking lot, but yes, you can. You can enjoy it all you want once you purchase the thing.
Hey, I noticed that you have a really cool balloon jersey on right there. This is the very brand new, released this week, Balloon Fiesta bicycle jersey. Look at that. How's it feel?
It feels nice. This thing's very comfortable. I really like the colors. You can see the features of the balloons. This thing is beautiful. I don't know if you can see, but we've also got another one on one of our riders down there, a bit of a different colorway. Also a beautiful jersey.
Those are really nice, and they are now available online and in our gift shop online at balloonfiestastuff.com. And what a great place to wear your jersey and ride your new electric bike. But right here to Balloon Fiesta, because we also have Bike Valet, where you can park your bike for free while you are here at Balloon Fiesta. And we'll keep an eye on it for you. Then you pick it up. The bike trails in Albuquerque connect from all around the city, right up the diversion channel and right into Bike Valet. So if you had a number of folks coming by and checking out the bikes, Alex?
Tons. It's been great to kind of mingle and meet with people. Lots of interest in the bikes, and this is just a great event. We're really happy to be here.
Great, Alex. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for bringing those bikes and giving us a little tour of those. And I have to say, you do look sharp in that shirt.
Thank you.
All right, Alex, with the electric bike folks down there in the southeast corner of the field, do go by and check them out. And check out the bikes, and for a while you'll be able to check that shirt out. But I lent that shirt to Alex so that he could wear it on the air for it. Yeah, it has to come back up here to me. So great, folks, to have them down here. Just one of the many things that you can do, one of the many vendors and opportunities that you can check out. We've talked many times about the balloon manufacturers that aren't very far away from where those electric bikes are. And again, if you work your way all the way to the north end of the field, checking out all of the booths and food booths as you go down the field. At the very far end, there is our Balloon Discovery Center with hands-on activities about balloons. The Artisans tent is up there where you can find all kinds of fine art and arts and crafts types of opportunities. And also the chainsaw carving folks are up there as well. There's actually even a sandcastle. I haven't been up to check on progress of the sandcastle here in the last few days. We'll see how have to do that one of these mornings quickly, as we're already on day 6 of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. And there's Humpty Dumpty with Rich Lawhorn on the screen, and I see right behind him Albert Einstein. So the wise owl with the mortar board and the glasses. Yep, that was the other way. And there's Smokey Bear. Somebody was asking earlier if Sonny Boy is here. There is Sonny Boy. And right next to Sonny Boy, Mr. Snowman is coming up. I see baby T-Rex behind both of them. The bees are now standing on the right side of the field. And Vampirilla is kind of peeking out between the Remax balloon and Pico, which is in the front part of our view. Elvis is in the building. Yes, Elvis is here this year with Mandrill right behind him, and then behind that would be Seabed with the turtle and the dolphin on the top of the balloon. And off to the right is Steggy, and right below Steggy, kind of between Steggy and the Seabed balloon, you see those little pointy tents? That would be our chainsaw carving area. Boy, they brought in a whole ton, probably multiple tons of wood to be able to carve some really great items that are available for sale or auction. There's a side shot of Albert I have to look at it to get it right. Albert Einstein, that's what it is. Albert Einstein. And there's Peg Leg Pete coming into view with his bandana and the skull on it. Earrings coming down the other side. Dave Reineke has Peg Leg Pete. Not sure what the one in front of that is. And you know, many of our balloon pilots like to advertise and honor the country or area that they are from or other causes. And so they'll fly these flags off the crown line. The crown line is that rope that goes from the very top of the balloon down to the ground, usually connected to the basket when they're flying. And it's only used when they're on the ground. So when they're getting ready to cold inflate or deflate, there is a crew member holding on to that rope to kind of help stabilize the balloon a little bit. And then they'll tie it off to the basket, and it'll stay there until they get ready for that deflation. We were talking about on the special shapes, those extra deflation ports. That looks like one right off to the left. You see the white and the black tapes coming down. That looks like one of the deflation ports on one of the appendages right there.
I think you're right, yeah. A lot of the shapes will have those special, those additional deflation ports, as we were talking about, to get the air out of some of those appendages.
One or two on each of those appendages.
Yes,
yeah,
sometimes.
on each. Yeah, which means if you got a bunch, you got a bunch of those deflation ports.
Yep. Hey, there's the black sheep.
Monty.
Monty is here with us. Our ExxonMobil balloon just in the screen there. There's the preventive pest control with the itsy bitsy spider. So that shot is coming from our neck of the woods up here at the south end of the field. Oh yeah, there's Monty. My goodness, I was looking at the screen. There it is right in front of us.
Yeah, he's right here in front of the pilot's pavilion. And again, I mentioned Sonny
Boy and Smokey.
And the snowman on the other side.
Yep, part of the Seasons. Was it
the
Carol?
Fleet of Seasons.
Was it Carol Weiner who had that team at one point in time?
I think you're right.
I think, you know,
and there's a pumpkin or a jack-o'-lantern that goes with that.
Yep, and then there was a daisy.
A daisy was yes,
so
that's
there was
right.
the daisy, the snowman, the pumpkin, and Sonny Boy. And what happened was they started out with, and we've seen that balloon flying here, I think, this week, a purple balloon that has those 4 characters around the side of the balloon. That was the original Seasons balloon team, and then they went through the process of building each of those characters out as an individual special shape. Not sure who owns them now, but I'm pretty sure it was Carol Reiner who
caught me catching up on my hot chocolate drinking.
Well, I'm just doing the same thing, as a matter of fact. There's the fishbowl.
And there's one of the pumpkin balloons. There is the special shape one where the eyes are actually cut out. There's another pumpkin that is just kind of painted on there or silk screened on there or overlaid. I'm not exactly sure.
Well, and I think on this one, if you look at the other side, there used to be one, it may be this one, that was like a happy pumpkin on one side and an angry pumpkin on the other.
And I don't remember which one was which, whether it was the one that was the shape one or otherwise.
I don't remember either now.
There's Stryker and Peg Leg Pete.
Yep. And by the way, I heard you mention Dave Reineke with Peg Leg Pete. His lovely bride, Kathy, just received her Ed Yost Master Pilot Award from the BFA on Saturday for 40 years of safe flying.
That. Congratulations,
so
Kathy.
Congratulations to Kathy.
I saw them both from afar in Plano a couple weeks ago. Didn't get a chance to chat with them, but I kind of saw them and talked about them out there on the field.
Yeah, she was one of several who received that award at the Balloon Federation of America's annual general meeting, which took place last Sunday. I think I said Saturday, but it was Sunday.
Right. Congratulations to them. And there I was mentioning
there is
the sand castle.
That's the first time I've seen it. I knew we were building a sand castle structure. There was some media releases that went out ahead of time about it, but I have not seen it because I have not gotten down on the field.
Secret.
They did, right.
They
wouldn't tell us
secret.
what it was going to be.
So, and I went by, and it was still kind of the block of sand, and you could see like one balloon sort of shaping up into it when that was like 4 or 5 days ago. But now, look at the looks like the Beagle Maximus dog right there in front. And I wonder if that's
Sunny Boy, the sunshine up there, and isn't the moon and the sun?
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course we have the new moon
because
balloon.
The moon's on the left. Yeah.
And then there's the sun. But it's about to be eclipsed. And is that the dog, or I think that's Arabelle See how the
it
tail
is. Yeah,
comes up
the tail.
over the back?
Looking closer.
I think that's
It's
Arabelle the cow,
yeah.
the Creamland Dairy cow.
Yeah.
It looks a little bit too from afar at one point like the Beagle Maximus, the big dog.
Now that we've zoomed in and looked
but
closer,
I believe that's Arabelle.
Yeah. I can see the tail there. Yep. Yeah, definitely a little bit better shot there.
Absolutely.
That's down there. For those of you here on the field, that's down on the northeast corner of the field.
Down
so
near
wander up there. That was actually built here over the last few days.
Yeah, they just trucked in we trucked in a bunch of sand for the Gordon Bennett folks anyway as ballast, and so we decided to have a big sandcastle built. That's down near in the area where the chainsaw carving is going on?
A little bit south of there. They're kind of off on that northeast. If you're going up Main Street, it's going to be right there on the right side of Main Street.
Okay.
And then you would cross Sid Cutter, which is the very far north road. You'd cross that to get to the Artisans Tent, the Balloon Discovery Center, and then you get a little bit farther east to the chainsaws.
To the chainsaws, okay. But in the general area.
There he is, still working on it.
There is the artist
still working
on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now is that water? I wonder if he's using that to drink or is that to keep the sand wet?
Probably a little bit of both. Yeah, he's wondering why we're asking the question.
Yeah, because you work with sand kind of in a dampened state in order to create shape like that.
Well, when I was down there and it was
he
still
said,
just
as if he were an expert sandcastle builder. I've never built. The biggest thing I've ever done with sand is fill a bucket and turn it upside down. Voila, castle.
Well, when I was down there, I want to say when I first saw it, it was actually the Friday before Balloon Fiesta got started, and they were literally still building kind of a support structure, but they were already starting to dampen the sand so that it would start to not get too dry along those lines.
Yeah.
Of course, the sun has just now hit us in the fields, coming right through the building in my face.
Yeah.
And we are doing a static display here on the first day of Special Shapes.
I'm having real heartburn this morning because I went to dinner last night with my cousins and our friends who are here in town from Texas. And I had told them, I said, if you want to go do something else, if you want to take a day off from your visit to Fiesta, tomorrow's the day because it's going to be windy and it's just going to be.
Yeah, all the forecasts were, all that stuff.
So they were going to make a day trip up to Santa Fe this morning. And I did at 5 o'clock when I got here and realized it was going to be a really nice morning. I texted them and said, hey, you ought to. And I think you mentioned you were at dinner in Placitas last night. I think that's where their Airbnb is at, that they're staying at.
Yeah.
So I texted them and said, hey, if, you might want to just come on down this morning and go to Santa Fe later today. I haven't heard from them, so I don't know. But I'm feeling guilty because they're missing what would be an amazing display for them. So it's all your fault.
Okay.
He said, looking across at our special guest, our chief meteorologist, Mr. Brad T-Meyer, it's all your fault. You should have called me and told me this was going to happen this morning.
Good morning to you too, Glenn.
Hello, Brad. How are you, my friend?
Oh, it's wonderful. Here's the thing is that we had a cold front that came through about 3 o'clock this morning. And ahead of that front, we were gusting to near 20 miles an hour. So that kept our temperature really, really warm. You noticed again this morning, we're running temperatures in the lower to mid 50s.
Yes, yeah.
What's really great about being here at Balloon Fiesta is we have instruments all over the field. So we've got the weather instrument that you talked about yesterday, just hanging out up here. We've got instruments all around the field. And then we've got other instruments, too, that we use. So we've got a profiler up on the northwest side of the field. And we also instituted a new instrument this morning. We did what's called a wind sonde.
I heard you talk about that in your weather briefing.
So it's basically, it literally looks like a coffee cup. It's a coffee cup, and we send it up on a helium balloon, and we can measure temperature and or moisture in the atmosphere if we want to. And so in this case, we're most interested in the temperature to get a real sense of when those stronger winds that we're seeing on the profiler and everything like that are going to start to come down to the surface. And so we found that the magical number this morning is 57. So we're going to be watching the temperature here very closely with all those reporting stations that we have around the area. And once we get close to that magic number, we're going to have all the pilots take down this morning because those winds should come up pretty quickly there.
What is that magic number? Is that a measure of what am I searching for?
It's the temperature, isn't it?
We did is
temperature,
we measured,
or is it the
some other combination?
We measured the temperature of this. That's what we used, this helium balloon, and it went through the atmosphere.
Moisture is the word I was looking for. Moisture in the air.
So we measured the temperature. That's because we were really curious about that. And the inversion temperature this morning is 57 degrees, and it's actually just above the surface of where we're at.
Okay.
So if our surface starts to warm above that 57 degrees, that means that the winds upstairs above that inversion are going to be more readily able to come to the surface.
Okay.
As that mixes, because we get to equilibrium there.
So 57 is only magical for us today. There's a different number every day.
And right now for the next couple hours is probably even.
It won't take long for us to warm. We're clear skies, right? So, and we're at 53 degrees right now here on the field.
So it's the cold air on the ground that's blocking.
there.
Okay, there we go. So see, so you're already 55. So we've got 2 degrees now of separation.
So it's the cold air on the ground that's blocking the winds that are up in the warmer temperatures from dropping down.
It's the warm air just above the cold surface that's preventing the winds from coming down.
Okay, so once that air, the cold air becomes the same temperature as
or
that
warmer.
air, or warmer, then the winds can drop on us.
That's exactly right.
I gotcha.
And we can see it on the profiler that we're looking at this morning. We've got 50. Winds of 40 to 50 miles an hour just above the surface up there. It's really hauling. Yeah, I would imagine up on top of the mountain, it's kind of a rough day up there this morning.
Yeah. I suspect I shouldn't feel quite so bad because, as I said, my family's staying up at Placitas, and I would bet as they're higher up into the side of the mountain, it's probably windy where they are. And so they're thinking, not a good day to go to Fiesta, and yet down here we're enjoying a beautiful morning.
Right. And this is a beautiful display of balloons. We've got this small window of opportunity, and I always think it's kind of fun, especially for the spectators. You get to go up and visit and meet the pilots and see the balloons up close, where once they take off, they go and they fly away and they're gone, right?
Yeah.
So this is their great chance to get out and visit with everybody and see the balloons up close and notice the details, especially and on Shapes Day.
That's what we've been talking about.
That's exactly what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So when you're finished doing weather, come on over and join us here on Balloon Fiesta Live. We'll just make you anchor number 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's really it's an awesome opportunity to go up and see so many of the different shapes. I think this is the only place in the world that you can see over 100 shapes on a regular basis.
I think so, and where you can get out and be up amongst them. In many places, you'd be
really,
behind a fence.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Really see them. And don't forget, they all have trading cards out there, too. So while you're checking all that stuff out.
Check in with those pilots and crews and get the cards because they're pretty cool.
Great. Thanks, Brad. We'll continue to watch for you, and we'll check later on.
Wait. Whoa. Time out. Now
I'm getting the hook.
Tell us what it's going to be like this afternoon, Mr. Weather Forecaster.
So the winds are going to actually get stronger throughout the morning hours, and by early afternoon, I think that's where we'll see the strongest winds. Probably gusting here locally at the field up to around 40 miles an hour or so.
Okay.
So really quite strong. Then after that, we'll gradually see a decrease through the remainder of the afternoon, and then the winds will drop off fairly rapidly this evening. So there is a chance that we might be able to get a small glow off tonight with the shapes and everything like that. So we'll be continuing to monitor that information, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the winds drop off fast enough.
So will the winds then pretty much be moved out of the area by tomorrow morning?
Oh, yeah. The rest of the weekend looks really good for us, honestly.
All right.
And looking out further, it does look like we're going to have some higher level clouds on the day of the eclipse itself, but the upper levels of the atmosphere really do dry out through the morning. So maybe some upper level clouds for sunrise, but hopefully by the time of the eclipse that it'll be clear skies and everybody will be able to enjoy that spectacle.
All right. Outstanding. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to
see
share.
you. Yeah, good to see you.
Great to see you both.
Thanks, Brad. We'll be
Brad
watching
Thiemeyer.
for that temperature of 57.
That's right. We'll be checking our thermometers. I think I have a temperature ad on my phone, or certainly on my iWatch, my Apple Watch. I'll be checking that.
Well, we'll just keep monitoring the one right here.
Well, actually, we do. We have the weather station right here with us on the rooftop studio.
Hey, before Brad came up, we were taking a look at the sandcastle sculpture that's out there.
Yes, we were.
So we've managed to connect with the artist out there, Ted. And so, Ted, good morning from Balloon Fiesta Live. We're all the way down at the south end of the field here. Just checking in. You can hear us okay out there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Great. So tell us a little bit about what you're building there.
Well, this is kind of like a collage of basically like what the logo is, which is I'm working on the Fiesta logo itself at the bottom, and there's a whole bunch of different balloons going up and some shapes and things like that, which is nice because now they're all they're put here and I can look at them a little closer than the last few days.
That's great. So tell us a little bit more about what the process is here. How much sand do you have? What's been kind of the design process? Right. Well, there's a semi truck of sand that's about 25 tons, and there's a process of how you pack sand to do what we do with it, and you
use a mechanical compactor, and it has to be wet. And you pack it in, 8, 10-foot-inch lifts all the way up to the top. I've built as tall as 54 feet, and this one here is 10 feet. And we do all sorts of different sorts of sculptures. So, I was thinking about this coming down when I got down here, was that I have never done a collage of balloons before, but I've done the planets a few times, and I was, especially when the eclipse was about 3 years ago. So I was going, oh yeah, that does look nice when you stack up, spheres next to each other.
So we were just, our photographer was just closing in. There's a little dragon up on your statue there, your structure. What is the significance of that?
Well, he got rifled out of my kid's bedroom when my son was about 6. My ex-wife's still pissed about that, but he's in charge of security.
Oh, okay. That is awesome.
What happens to the sand sculpture when Balloon Fiesta is over on Sunday?
Well, in this weather, it would last for years, so I don't know what they're going to do with it. But they normally just get torn down, and it's decent sand. It costs $1,000, so come down and pick it up.
Wow,
for free.
We'll pack it up and put it over there for the other gas flights that take out of here throughout the rest of the year.
That or somebody that runs a garden shop here in town will come down and load it up and resell it probably.
So I guess the secret here, Ted, is if you really want to see this, get down there to the north end of the field and get pictures of it, because it won't last forever.
When will it be complete?
That's true.
When will you say, I'm done, it's finished?
I'm always done when it's time to go home, but I'll be done Sunday morning.
That's when it's
I've
time
been
to
doing
go
this
home.
For 35 years. I know all the good lines.
There you go.
That's right.
Well done. Well done.
No, art's never finished, only abandoned.
Oh.
He does know all the good lines.
He does. He does.
Hey, Ted, thanks for talking to us, and looking forward to getting back down to that end of the field and seeing your creation in person. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right.
So there you go. First-hand knowledge from the artist himself that's building the sand structure, the sand castle structure, sculpture, whatever you want to call it. But it's cool. Yeah, a montage of balloons and planets.
Speaking of a montage of balloons, there
that's
they
Pencil
are.
Boy.
Pencil Boy, we talked about earlier in the week, with the reflection of a mass ascension in his glasses. I see the back side or the front side of the barn right next to that.
I haven't seen Andrew's shape. Have we gotten a picture of that yet?
I haven't seen
Has anyone
it yet.
Anyone down there
They're
seen
still trying to figure out how to rig it up,
Well,
because when it comes,
might be.
sometimes things are tangled.
Things are
a little
packed
bit.
for shipping and they're turned inside. I know when you used to get your balloon back from Annual, it'd be inside out and backwards and all
twisted
that sort of
around
stuff,
and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so you're
There
kind
is
of
Coco the Clown, who's down here on our end of the field, right beside the Sid Cutter Pavilion, right behind Cynthia Seal, and there's Monty the black sheep. I've got a great picture. I'll have to find it and show it to you. Last year before, I think it was last year, they had some plush Monty the Sheeps that they were selling fundraising
Greg
with.
was up here with some of them one year.
Yeah. Well, I got like a whole herd of them and got to take them home, and I've got a great picture with my cat Ranger, Bingo, basically being a sheep cat instead of a sheep dog. Now we're down into the Sky Safari group. There is Duma, the cheetah. There is Adelaide, the koala. I think we're seeing the backside just there. Yep, there's Wes, the wolf. You can see the registration G. Wes. And so Pico, the peacock, Andrew's new shape, ought to be somewhere down in that area. There's Buster. Buster the bulldog. I don't see his girlfriend Bella there beside him. She might be somewhere else this morning because we do change the launch sites up. But Buster the bulldog, which I kind of like it. Buster was my dad's nickname, and so kind of like that balloon.
It's a nice kind of wide shot where you see the bees.
There's there is the Beagle
Maximus that I thought might have been in the sculpture.
Was on the sculpture at first. Yeah, and there's the bees all lined up, the family together.
A great shot of Remax being one of the normal size balloons that we've been flying.
Yeah.
And you start to see, even with the perspective here, you start seeing how much bigger the special shapes are.
Yeah.
But again, on the bees, as we've been talking about all morning, you can see the regular shape of the body.
I was just going to go there. The black and yellow striped body is the round balloon, and then you can see the the different colored wings, the arms and the heads and the antennae and all of those appendages, but they're all attached to basically a round, what we call a round balloon, a teardrop-shaped hot air balloon, traditionally.
And that's basically
shaped.
our view, looking right past Cuervo to
that's
KKOB.
Exactly what we can see from here.
Right down the alley, all the way up to all those other balloons that are out there as
so
well.
You can understand when we sometimes say our view is blocked, it means simply that we can see the balloons right in front of us, but we can't see the other end of the field without the aid of our crack camera team from Windfire Productions, who continue to exceed expectations every year that we work with them.
And we've talked multiple times about the chainsaw carvers that are out on the north edge of the field.
Yep.
And now, so we are looking at one of the sculptures, and this one looks like it's one that might still be in progress.
I think that's a construction in progress.
Yeah, and we're looking through the safety mesh there that keeps
netting.
the chips from flying and people from walking into the
that
actual...
if you've not been there yet, that's a definite must-see while you're here at Balloon Fiesta, because some of their creations are just incredible art. And they build things from desktop size to, garden size. I mean, there'll be, park benches down there when they're finished. But they also build and sell a lot of smaller sculptures, and some of them, as I say, small enough they can be ornamentation on your desk if you'd like. But definitely worth a stop while you're here to go down and see some of their creations. There's Beagle Maximus thinking about taking a bite out of the carrot of Snowman's nose as we're looking at that on the live screen. Gosh, what an incredible, unexpected morning this is. I just can't imagine that we're pulling this off based on the weather forecast that we were seeing when we were leaving here yesterday morning. So hats off to our weather guys, to Brad and his team, and all the staff for having the confidence to put this event together this morning.
And I appreciate Brad coming up and giving us some of the science and the things that they're looking at. As we all learn more about what the weather does and how it works, and with all of the instruments
there it
that we
is.
have.
There is the brand new Peacock. That is the newest special shape balloon, probably the newest one in the world, ladies and gentlemen. It was
for the next couple hours.
For the next few hours, at least.
As fast they go.
Yeah.
But no, congratulations to Andrew and
I'm going to get back to my notes here, because he gave me some. Yeah, the balloon was finished in the factory on Monday. It was test flown and inspected yesterday, and this was a day or two ago when he sent me this. It was freighted. I think we got the word that it was freighted on, today is Thursday.
Yeah.
It was freighted on Tuesday, arrived in Phoenix yesterday. They drove up to Phoenix following yesterday's flight, picked it up, put it in the truck, drove back, arrived here on the field with it at 3:30 this morning, and it is inflated. From Diamond Balloons. Diamond Balloons is the brand new UK certified balloon manufacturer. An arm of Andrew's Exclusive Ballooning, and that, ladies and gentlemen, the newest special shape to debut right here this morning for the first time at Balloon Fiesta Park.
Thanks to Andrew and his team for making that trip over to Arizona and back to be able to get the balloon here. And then, of course, after an 18-hour drive over there and back.
Have a sticker.
A sticker.
Monty.
Yeah. So after
Where's Monty?
Making that drive over and back and still having the awakenedness to be able to put it up this morning.
Yeah, I would hope Andrew caught some sleep while they were on the road. Of course, Andrew's no strange to making those kinds of trips. A few years ago, he became the first person to fly a hot air balloon in all 50 states of the United States, and I was proud to be a part of the logistics team to support his effort doing that, and set a Guinness World Record doing so. So he's used to making those long drives and then flights immediately following. He wasn't traveling by himself. He had at least another driver with him, so I'm sure he got a little bit of rest on the trip back.
For that kind of trip, you'd have to be rotating drivers through the process.
Yeah. So, so we finally get to see the newest special shape out of Diamond Balloon, so that's cool.
Looks great.
Yep.
Looks great.
And we were discussing up here that the name Pico is the same name, even spelled the same, as the caricature from Saint Jean-sur-Richelieu, but the official name is Pico the Peacock.
Okay, so that's how we'll have to differentiate.
So that's how we differentiate the two of them, yes. Yeah, that's according to Steve Kai, who's part of the team, but at home in Wales. but texted me this morning. With
there's your bulldog with the bow, with the pink bow.
Oh yeah, no, that's not it. That's
what it was.
No, that's this other one. That's
I saw the
this
edge.
one right here.
I saw the edge and I saw the
Yeah,
bow.
that's Ted and Lindy.
I saw the bow there.
But
you're right.
But no, that's not Bella the bulldog.
Here I'm trying to be quick and spot them ahead of time,
Yeah.
and then they pull things like that.
Yeah. Steve actually had sent me a message that says Pico is upright. Just had a video sent to me, and he sent it to me, but we hadn't seen it here on the field, Steve. So that was the point. Now we obviously have. David Bristol just sent me the note that Ben Drennan now owns Sunny Boy, Mr. Winter, and the Purple Seasons balloons. Okay, thank you for that, Dave.
And the purple one has the representation of all of the shapes.
It was the original Seasons balloon,
right?
Because it had the representation. The Sunny Boy for summer, the Daisy was spring, Mr. Winter the pumpkin was Halloween, well, not Halloween, but was fall.
Yeah,
and
fall.
then Mr. Winter, the snowman, was winter, of course. So the 4 seasons. Yeah. So thanks for that information, Dave. Appreciate it. Let's see.
So we saw a shot a little bit earlier of the rat balloon, and people have asked about that, and that's one that is.
I called it a mouse. Was it
a
rat?
There's a rat one that is actually coming down. It reminds me of the Ratatouille.
Oh, yeah, from the movie?
Yeah, and it reminds me of that, and I actually have absolutely no information on it, so they managed to sneak that one in, got through our pilot coordinator and all, and the information never made it to us. Do you see what I'm seeing happening on the field? The flags are starting to flap a little bit along the side. I'm starting to see a little bit of motion. And we're up to 55.5 degrees here on the field.
Yeah, I'm seeing a few balloons begin to take down now, too. The KKOV
in the
balloon
center.
is down in the center.
So they told us that when the
57 is
when
the
we hit 57,
mark.
that's the magic number.
But if you also notice what's happened, clouds have moved overhead, so it's not as sunny and bright, and that might slow some of the heating.
It might.
It might delay us hitting that magic 57 on the field.
But obviously, as we get closer to it, and as you said, that number will adjust a little bit. But when they did the measurement this morning, that was the number they were at, and so it will adjust a little bit. There's Sheriff Armadillo, just before we got away from it.
We're talking about the special. You were talking earlier today about the special eclipse pins. Marissa Torres, who is part of the Moo Crew, says Arabelle has a very cool solar eclipse card. Go grab one from anyone who's part of the Moo Crew. Well, someone from the Moo Crew might bring a couple of those up here to the tower. I'm just saying.
If you want one, you got to go get it.
Well, hey, not that, because look, I mean, Monty, they brought us.
Yeah, they did.
Where is Monty? They brought us nice little stickers.
Yeah, I see you got a new Monty.
I got a new Monty, which is I'm very thankful for, because I gave all the ones I had away to my nieces.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I've got 3 nieces, and I've got grand nieces and nephews, and so I passed them out amongst the family. I didn't keep one for myself, but I will keep this one. Of course, I happen to know the team pretty well. I'll see if I can't score a second one for you.
I still have mine from a few years ago.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you know what we haven't talked about yet this morning? We don't want to let the time go by. We haven't talked about our giveaway.
No, and Sean over here has only been bugging me a little bit on the feed.
Oh,
pointing
on the
to
feed?
the feed here, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sean.
I thought you were pointing to Bobby. No, that's not Sean.
Sean, the balloonatic on the feed here.
Okay.
About every 5 minutes says, "Is it time for the drawing yet?
Is it time for the drawing?
Is it time for the drawing yet?"
You think he's hoping he might win? There's Adelaide the koala from Sky Safari in Longleat, representative of the fact that Longleat, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, a great wildlife and family amusement park over in Warminster, south of London. And a few years ago, they added koalas, a koala colony, to their wildlife roster, and so Adelaide, the koala bear, represents that.
So let's satisfy
talk about
Sean's
our giveaway. Yeah, Sean, get ready, bud. Here we go.
Here we go. So if you've not joined us, if you've not heard about this, we decided to do something kind of fun this year with Balloon Fiesta Live. And so we worked with our friends at the sign store here in New Mexico, Al Padilla. By the way, I ran into Al last night. He's thrilled. He's excited that people are really enjoying this giveaway.
Folks are really getting into this.
They really are, and so we're already starting to talk about what might we do next year.
Oh, fun.
So this obviously, I think, will be some sort of continuing promotion that we do, and we'll have to start figuring that out. But thanks to Al Padilla over at the sign store for helping us out with this. So we went to him. We said we want to do something fun, and so we talked about this license plate. This is an actual license plate, a replica of the pattern.
It's a design. Used to be
an official
real
plate.
New Mexico license plate. Yes.
The license plate on my car doesn't say Balloon Fiesta Live, but it is this exact design. It's exactly this design, exactly. But we have made, with the help of Al, a number of these Balloon Fiesta Live replica license plates, and we're giving them away to viewers, those of you on the field, if you'd like to participate. All you have to do is give us your name and contact information, and we are drawing 3 names every single session. So to do that, let's throw the QR code up on the screen, and we'll let you scan that QR code. It will take you directly to the entry form, where, again, you just put your contact information in, and there's a place for you to give us a few comments about Balloon Fiesta Live as well. If you can't see the QR code, you're not ready to grab the code that way, just go to balloonfiesta.com, find the Balloon Fiesta Live page. It's under the This Year events. And right there on the Balloon Fiesta Live page, where many of you are watching our live stream, you'll be able to click on the link. You'll see the picture of the license plate, and the link is right below there. So do get into the drawing. Once you're in the drawing, you're in for the duration. You don't have to enter multiple times. In fact, if you do, I'm taking the multiples out.
That's right.
So
don't stuff the ballot box.
Yeah, you're in, and we just keep pulling from the list. Now, granted, the list gets longer, and the amount of times left to win.
So you actually have more chances to win had you registered, like, say, last Monday than waiting until today. But if you're just tuning in today, you've still got today's session, tonight's, tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning. So you still got several chances.
Still a number of chances. Right. So do go and get yourself registered for our Balloon Fiesta Live license plate giveaway. And
without further ado,
our winners on this morning's session: from Albuquerque, Diana Pepe; from Brentwood, California, Mark Mueller; and another one from Albuquerque. Got 2 in this session.
First time we've had 2 locals.
Yeah, Richard Logan from Albuquerque. So Diana, Mark, and Richard, I will be in touch with you, as I will be with all of the previous winners, after Balloon Fiesta, to arrange the delivery, whether that's mail, personal, come by the office and pick it up, whatever that is. I'll get in touch with you and make arrangements to get you your Balloon Fiesta Live license plate.
Outstanding.
The rest of you, get entered, because time is starting to run short.
We're on day 6. We're on the downhill side of the event right now, so your chances to win will be limited, but you still have several chances if you get in today. So be sure and register. And again, please register only once. Or as those of you who may be fans of the show Allo Allo would say, listen very carefully, for I shall say this only once.
I saw the feet of the stork balloon in a shot just as we were wrapping up the.
I can see it in
We can
full
see it
now.
here, yeah. But
we also, on the shot while we were talking about the plates, we had a side-by-side shot of Buster and Bella, the 2 bulldogs. There they are. There's Buster on the right and his girlfriend Bella on the right.
See, that bow looks a lot like Teddy and Lindy's.
It does, yeah. And we were discussing, what would their puppies be named, because we were talking about how Puddles and Splash got together and created Tall Steve. So maybe next year there'll be a puppy from Buster and Bella. And we've had some really cool names. Becca has been a very popular name for if the puppy is a girl. Lots of ones for if it were a boy as well. But Becca probably is the leader in the clubhouse, as they would say.
Or on the balloon field.
Or on the balloon field, that too.
Yeah.
There's just a little quick look at Just Fun Cat, the white balloon that's just going out of frame on the left. Meanwhile, there's another cat balloon.
And there's Saguaro Grande. It was standing up earlier. So we keep talking about the top. You see that light color there? That means the top has been pulled in.
Open. That's sunlight coming through the other side of the balloon, where the top is open, and you can see the top. You see the round shape right at the very top of this, right at the very top in this case of this balloon, and you can actually see where it's pulled in as we close in now.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the one of the arms where they've
and
got the
an
deflation
extra
port out
deflation
of there.
port we've been talking about there to get the
Deflate
air
the
out
arms.
of the appendages, out of the arms.
Yep.
Well done. Our crack camera team from Windfire Productions, right on top of it,
Exactly.
as always. A lot of the shapes are beginning. We're getting that magic hour now. What time of day is it? It's 8:03, just as we expected. We're beginning to see a lot of the balloons come down as we're expecting the winds to kick up. And actually, Art, as I look now down along the western arroyo, you can see all the American flags are now beginning to reflect a little bit of breeze over there.
Yeah, we saw that a little bit earlier, and again, they wanted them to be down by the time we got to 57 degrees. And we're sitting at 55 and a half, so we're getting there. But yes, I'm starting to feel it on my legs here up on the roof.
Yep, me too.
So, yeah, so a number of them. But boy, what a great morning. A solid hour of static display with regular balloons, special shaped balloons. You got a chance to see them all and get out there in and among them. And we've filled up given you a lot of opportunities and some information and ideas of what to go visit while you're here on the field. So don't just run away as the balloons start to deflate. Spend the morning and spend your money.
There's tons of that too. There's tons of shopping to be done along Main Street as always, but then there are the extra things to do, like go down and take a look at the sand sculpture that's being built, or go down and check out the chainsaw carving exhibition that's going on in that part of the field. There are there's not just vendors selling stuff along Main Street too. There are a lot of service organizations that are here. I think you were telling me AARP has a booth here. For those of you of a certain generation closer to mine than others perhaps, that might find their services of value. So yeah, there are always some different service organizations that are there. There's a lot of times there are some a variety of companies doing product sampling where you can maybe get some free things to try out and provide a little consumer information or feedback to them, that they're always interested in doing that. So Main Street is, and then usually we have some street entertainers that are wandering around as well. We'll have Bill back up shortly with some entertainment on the main stage. So Main Street's a fun place to spend some time, not just shopping for balloon stuff. There's all kinds of things to be found over there.
Well, and as our balloons, pilots and crews pack up the balloons, they'll get in line, go out and refill the fuel, fill their propane back up, but then many of them will just come right back over here onto the field and set up and tailgate.
Yeah.
So you can even wander among them and maybe get a tour of the trailer or the truck and see the basket
or
a little more
stop
close up.
and ask for one of those balloon trading cards if you didn't get them earlier.
Yeah, so you can ask questions about how to get into ballooning. So there's lots of opportunities for you to mix and mingle with all of the folks that are here and just spend the morning out here having a great time at Balloon Fiesta.
And if the ballooning bug has caught you, then you can either talk with one of the balloon teams on the field, or you can come to our end, to the south end of the field here, right next to the Sid Cutter Pilot Pavilion, and that's where you'll find the booths belonging to the manufacturers. We talked earlier with Johnny Petrin when he was on the field about the exciting things going on at Ultra Magic. They have a booth on the field. Lindstrand Balloons is with us. Cameron Balloons is with us. Kubitschek Balloons is here. And they would all be happy to see you and chat with you and talk with you about how, by this time next year, you might have your very own balloon and be right here flying with us. We'll be talking about you on Balloon Fiesta Live.
It has happened. We've seen folks come by in years past, and now we say, oh, well, there they are in that balloon out there.
Yep, absolutely.
As we're starting to deflate some of the balloons in the front, we're actually starting to get a little shot of some balloons that we didn't see.
Some of the balloons that we didn't see earlier this morning.
A better shot of the snowman, and then there's Hamlet out there
as well. There's Hamlet, and it looks like they're just deflating. Yeah, they've just pulled the top on Hamlet, the pink pig with the white wings. When pigs fly, that's Doug Gant's balloon. I see there goes the upside down Humpty Dumpty coming down. Billy Broker still has the City of Plano balloon standing tall. Plano, of course, home to a very fine balloon event of its own. Art and I have both been associated with that event. I was there for 25 or so years, and when I stepped away, then Art took over the announcing duties there at Plano. Our best to Joe Vi and all of her team back in the city of Plano, Texas. Great folks there. I still see Bella is up and Buster, I think, beside her. I'm trying to see what that orange balloon is that's just past them. I can't quite make it out. It's not on the screen. I'm just looking across the field from our view here.
We've had a number of shots of Buddy Beaver out there as well.
Yeah, and there's a great story behind that. At one time, that was Dave and Kathy Reinecke's balloon, and it was originally built as Mr. Potato Head. And then they got into a bit of some legal issues and had to do an extensive makeover and created Bucky Beaver. But what's fun, and here's a tip for you, when we get tonight's glow off and tomorrow night's glow with the shapes, if you look closely, you'll be able to see the original Mr. Potato Head through the fabric. They made these big jowls to make Bucky the Beaver.
To kind of cover up the other,
to cover up what is the smile of Mr. Potato Head. So watch when the balloon glows at night, you can see through, and you can actually see what was Mr. Potato Head in the behind side, if you will, or the inside of Bucky Beaver. Just a little insider tip for you. But that's a fun balloon. And, of course, the cat down there earlier is Sylvester, but we're not supposed to say that.
Right.
Because it's kind of like we're not supposed to talk about Tweety Bird, it's a yellow bird, but come on. We all know what it is. There's that, that's one of the dinosaur balloons. That was the orange thing I was trying to figure out, the orange with the purple spikes. Dino, G-Dino is the registration on the balloon there.
And I think is it Baby Dino? Is that, I think, what the name of it might be?
I haven't actually looked that one up yet this week. I've seen we've got Baby T-Rex here, but this is a different one. I'll let you scroll through and find it. There's Ken Drawn out in the middle of the field. His balloon is bright yellow with the interlocking red and blue diamonds. The red
no
and blue.
Target out there today,
No
Ken.
target for Ken today, no. He's been working his tail off trying to
just Dino is the purple,
just
the
Dino?
purple spikes, just Dino.
Okay.
Chris
right.
Monk from over in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, competition scheduled to resume tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning. We'll be doing pole grab, well, not pole grab, but ring toss,
Ring tosses.
Yeah. Normally what that is, ladies and gentlemen, there'll be 5 flag poles, if you will, out interspersed along the competition area, and the pilots will be handed at pilot briefing. They'll each be giving a small, what I call a mini-me hula hoop. It's just about a 12-inch wide plastic ring, and the object will be for them to fly into the field, and if they get close enough to one of those poles, drop their ring around the pole. Each one will be worth, we have a sample. We have our own ring up here.
We have our own ring up here.
I should have known that.
Yep, so that we can actually throw the score. So here it is.
And so the object is they fly
if this
up
is the
to
pole.
the pole. If this is the pole. And they
No, this is the pole.
Oh, sorry.
This is the pole.
Okay, they drop it around the pole. You'll see some that'll try to do that, and usually it'll bounce off or fly wide, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
And the way it usually works is each pole is worth X number of dollars.
Right.
And if you're the first person on the pole and the only person on the pole, you win the entire prize money. If I put my ring on the pole, and then a few minutes later another pilot comes along and puts another ring on the pole, as the first person on the pole, I get like half of the total amount.
They'll split it. They'll split. However many are on there, they'll split it that many ways.
Because in some cases, like if it's a $1,000 pole, the first guy gets $500.
Yeah.
If no one else comes along, you get the whole $1,000.
No, we split.
In this case, it's an even split.
It's an even split.
Okay. All right.
And my guess
so there's no advantage to being first. You just want to get on the pole. Okay.
And my guess is because we would have done this competition today had we flown competition
this morning. That's
so
right.
So there is money allocated for prizes today and for tomorrow.
So will we see more poles or
more money
on
each
pole? Okay.
That's what I think is going to happen.
All right.
Yeah, so we still only have 5 poles.
There's just fun, Cat, by the way.
But, so the prizes will be even bigger tomorrow.
Maybe each pole will be double the normal amount.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen tomorrow. That's usually what we do when we get to that point. So we'll have to watch, and we'll get all that stuff figured out tomorrow.
Yeah, they'll give us all that detail tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we heard from Brad that after the wind gets through here this afternoon, things are going to be just peachy for the rest of the week.
Rest of the week, yeah. It will be cold, however. They're still forecasting upper 30s for Friday morning here. For tomorrow, that Friday morning is now tomorrow morning. It's not that far away. So I've got my sweatshirt and my tartan scarf and some other layers that I'll probably be bundling up with tomorrow morning just to be safe.
30 still cold. It's all relative term.
I'm a lowlander. I'm not used to the high desert, so give me a break.
Yeah. That's.
I live down in the swamps, so anything below 95 is cold.
And just like it's a dry heat, it's a dry cold, too.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I don't know what that means, but what it does to the feels-like temperature.
I moved from Texas to California years ago, and everybody says, oh, it's a dry heat, it's a dry heat. I don't care. When it's 104, it's still like sticking your head in the oven.
Yeah.
Whether it's wet or dry, it makes no difference to me. It's still hot. So 37, it'll be cold. Just trust me on that. Especially up here on the rooftop. More so than down on the field even. Maybe. Yeah.
So we continue to watch here on the field, and as our balloons are, a number of them still standing up. We got that little kind of gust, and there is just a little bit of breeze around. So, but I've actually been watching the temperature since Brad gave us that magic number.
Yeah.
And it's actually been cooling off. So that little bit of cloud cover,
that cloud cover you
did
can see
do
did
exactly
move
what you
over us.
said.
Yeah, and kind of slow down the heating, the early morning heating of the sun. But I think a lot of the pilots feel like, discretion is the better part of valor. We've had a nice hour-long display. Better to get the balloons down, packed away, and be safe than to be still standing and
when
suddenly have a 20-mile-an-hour gust come in and flatten you.
Yep. You definitely want to do that. So we're going to kind of wander on here for another 15 minutes or so, and then we're going to let everybody go. I think we're going to move the entertainment on the Main Street stage up so that you'll be able to enjoy that while you're doing your shopping and mixing with all of the balloons and our pilots and crews. You still have that opportunity to do that. And as we heard, we're going to get some heavy winds come in this afternoon.
Yep.
But the peak of that is supposed to be about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And our activities here at the field don't really get started till about 4 o'clock. Gates open at 3:30. 4 o'clock this afternoon. Hopefully we'll have our Great American Kite Show. Team Fast Tracks brought to us by the AIC, the American Insurance Company. They are scheduled to jump at 5 o'clock and bring the American flag in.
Now, if the upper winds are still pretty fast, that might be an issue for them. We'll have to see.
It is, and yes, but again, it's one of those, just like we waited till this morning to make a final decision.
Right.
We will make that final decision.
Exactly. No, I'm not in any way suggesting they won't be jumping. I'm just saying it'll be something we'll have to look at this afternoon. It's one of many things that will have to be taken into consideration.
As will all the things I'm about to tell you about.
Oh, okay. Well, go right ahead then. Don't let me interrupt.
I'm running down. I'm running down the schedule, and then yes, there is the caveat that we're going to continue to watch the weather, and certain activities. Most of our activities are weather dependent, so we'll have to watch and see what happens. But again, gates open at 3:30, and the Great American Kite Show scheduled at 4. Team Fast Tracks jump with the flag at 5, and then we would be on to our balloon glow about 6:30, which again, based on the conversations, may get delayed a little bit, but we're still scheduled for the drone show tonight and for our Team Fast Tracks pyrotechnic drop.
Wait, time out. The drone show goes tonight?
I
thought that was only weekend stuff.
It's nights and weekends.
Nights and weekends. Okay.
I think that's the deal.
Okay.
It's on the schedule for tonight, so we'll.
Okay. All right.
So drone show and Fast Tracks pyrotechnic jump, and then of course the afterglow fireworks about 8 o'clock as well. And for those of you on the field, there's music tonight on the field starting at 5 and again at 8 o'clock tonight as well. So a full afternoon, evening of activities here on Balloon Fiesta Park.
Cool.
And tomorrow is another Special Shapes Day.
Right.
It is also Kids Day. Kids Day brought to us by Chick-fil-A, and the broadcast partner for Kids Day is KKOB. But starting at 4:30 tomorrow morning, which, by the way, happens to be Friday the 13th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we've got Friday. We've got all the things happening this year.
Everything's working. We got Eclipse. We've got Friday the 13th.
Indigenous Day was on Monday, Friday the 13th.
We got Kids Day.
Yeah, so starting at 4:30, right off by the Main Street stage, kids can pick up some great free stuff brought to us in part by Chick-fil-A and by other fine sponsors as well. We're scheduled to set up the Los Globitos, or our RC balloons, in the morning, again sponsored by the city of Las Vegas, New Mexico. We'll set balloons up at 7 o'clock. Special shapes down the east side. Many of them will fly. Many of them will do a static. Our Fiesta flyers will fly out of the field off on their flight. And then our competition balloons will fly from somewhere else to fly into the field. And that's when the ring the pole competition
toss, right.
we just talked about
Yep.
will happen. And they usually have some other things out there. They have things that they can throw their markers
there'll
on.
There'll be targets of some sort, which will go toward the cumulative competition prizes.
Overall prizes.
Overall
and
championship.
Tomorrow being the last day of competition,
It'll be a
you
big day
know
for
that
that.
that's going to be, they're going to be out there trying their best to get up there. If they've scored at all on Monday and Tuesday, the key is going to be to score again on Friday.
Yeah, and score well to try to move up in the standings. As we heard Johnny Petrin saying, he would be working to do that tomorrow.
Right, because he says he's not up too high in the overall,
right,
but he's in there.
Yeah.
So a really good score tomorrow would be able to take care of that.
Move him up toward the top.
And, of course, the chainsaw folks continue to go do their carving in the morning and their auctions at 11.
Hey, and on a personal note tomorrow, I think, are we still good to go with Steve Stucker, we believe?
Yes. I'll verify that later this afternoon.
Okay.
But about 6:40 tomorrow morning,
okay,
we're planning on a little special presentation. Steve Stucker, local weatherman, just retired from KOB TV. And he is still doing some broadcasts for them. He was out last weekend.
Right.
He'll be out tomorrow and Saturday doing cut-ins for the local TV station. And we are scheduled to be on his 6:40 cut-in.
Okay.
To make a special presentation. I don't know how much of that you want to talk about now.
Well, I did an article about Steve, a profile on him, when he announced his retirement in Ballooning Magazine. And in my just personal conversation with him, we discovered that we both started here in our official roles at Fiesta together on the same year in 1990. And I mentioned to Steve has a charity,
Beds for Kids.
Beds for Kids that he supports. And I mentioned that probably about 20 years ago now, when we had if you remember the special shapes that were Miss Penny and Little Buck, the pigs, they made piggy banks of those one year. And somehow I was given one of the Miss Penny piggy banks. And for however many years it's been that I've had that bank, 20 years or thereabouts, I've been putting pennies in
probably
there.
Longer than that, actually.
Could well be. And the thing weighs a ton. I had to get a dolly to roll it out of my house and get it into my car. So it's here, and my intention is, as I discussed with Steve when we did the article in the magazine, I've always wanted to do something special with the bank and the money that's in it. So we're going to donate that piggy bank to Steve for his charity. He's going to take it to one of the local banks and have them count all the pennies, because I'm not going to sit and roll all the pennies. So, yeah. So we're going to.
Anymore, some banks don't want you to roll them. They have the coin counters.
They have the coin counters.
Yeah.
Or you can empty your bank and take them. Some supermarkets have coin counters.
Right.
And you can get a slip and go to the cashier and get money. But I wanted to do something, to give back to Balloon Fiesta for all the years that I've been here. And so anyway, the bank is here. I carried it with me from Louisiana, and we're going to donate that to Steve and to his Beds for Kids charity. We'll find out how much money is in it, and just to make sure that it's worthwhile, I'm going to drop a $100 bill in the bank before we get started with the donation tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So, so that's coming up. Just Steve and I kind of struck up a friendship. We've known each other we've been acquainted through the years working here at Fiesta, but when we realized that we both had started at the same time, I thought, well, that'd be something fun to do with that. However much money's in that bank. So Miss Penny, the bank is here with us. We'll bring it up on set tomorrow. And we'll make that donation to Steve's charity.
Probably need some armed guards and some really heavy muscle guys to carry it up there.
I can't. I literally cannot lift it myself. I meant to try to weigh it before I left to come here to see what it weighed, and I forgot to do that. And by the time I had got it on a dolly and rolled it out into the garage and got a friend to put it in the truck for me, I just said, to heck with it. So I don't know what it weighs, but it's heavier than anything I want to lift. So
the other thing
so that's going to happen tomorrow morning.
Yeah, the other thing that's on our plate for tomorrow morning, being that it is Kids Day, and I know that we've done this earlier in the week, but we're scheduled to put our camera in the ExxonMobil balloon tomorrow morning.
Oh,
Tristan, of course, one of the younger pilots here. He's not the youngest, but because he's getting old already like the rest of us.
Like the rest of us. You gray quickly in this sport.
Anyway, so we're going to be with him, and we'll talk a little bit more about what it means and what it's like being one of the younger ones, and he has a younger crew as well. Yeah, he's listening to us and waving at us down there. Yeah, you're still on the hook tomorrow, Tristan. Yeah, there you go. Thumbs up from him as well. So, hey, did you notice he's standing here talking and look,
all the crew are doing the
work? He's got the
work.
crew doing the work.
Yeah. That's called good piloting. Well done, Tristan.
Yeah,
well done.
Yeah. Well, that's because he's got that young crew, you see.
That's right.
You know, he can make them do the work. But
you let the ones with the weak minds and
There
the
they
strong
are.
backs do all the work.
There they are. Yeah, that's how that works here. So, anyway, we're going to be talking more about youth and getting involved in the sport of ballooning, whether
All
it's
right.
from a crew standpoint, whether it's from a piloting standpoint, or any of those types of things. So we'll be talking a lot about youth activities around ballooning, et cetera, tomorrow as we honor kids and enjoy them. They actually have the day off from school tomorrow, so we expect that there'll be a number of them out here. We always do get them. They used to have Thursday and Friday off
I
as
was
fall
looking
break.
at the calendar. I thought it mentioned Kids Day, and I was thinking it used to be Thursday and Friday, but I didn't say anything this morning because I wasn't sure. I thought we had changed that to just Friday now.
Yeah, well, the deal is that the
It depends
school
on the
system,
school district letting the kids
and
out.
Albuquerque used to take their fall break on Thursday and Friday, but having Monday off from Indigenous Peoples Day, and the fact that we've now lengthened the school year here a little bit, they had to adjust the calendar a little bit. And so they were supposed to be in class today. And although I know some schools scheduled conferences so people could still be out here today. But they're all off tomorrow. We can use our park and ride buses again tomorrow because we do partner with the school bus companies to use those for our park and ride. So we're back in full swing big time tomorrow with the second day of Special Shapes, with the flight rodeo in the morning and the glodeo in the evening. Then, of course, Saturday, the very big day here at Balloon Fiesta Park, starting with our drone show and the Dawn Patrol show and our Mass Ascension. And then after the Mass Ascension, it will be time for the eclipse. And during the eclipse, there will be a 72 balloon glow on the field. Coming out of the eclipse, we've got the awards ceremony for all of our hot air pilots. Then we move right into Music Fiesta. Lee Bryce, our headliner. Our support act is Runaway June. And local Brandon Seiss is the opening number.
Opening act,
All of that starts at 1 o'clock on a Saturday. After Music Fiesta, we'll be back with a full afternoon's worth of activities. Again, with Fast Tracks and the drone show, our Night Magic balloon glow, the afterworks fireworks, music on the stage. Actually, Saturday night as well is the awards presentation of the
Gordon Bennett.
That's right. That'll be taking place off-site. But, a very full day on Saturday. And when we survive that.
I was going to say, for anyone who's still alive on Sunday morning.
It's the Farewell Mass Ascension.
Yeah.
And so we'll be putting balloons up on that day, and then the process of turning this Balloon Fiesta city back into a city park begins very quickly.
All of this stuff that's here, a lot of it disappears.
Yeah, Balloon Fiesta, AIBF, Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, Inc., actually rents this park from the city for about 60 days. We get it at 12:01 on the Tuesday following Labor Day.
Okay.
And that's when the work really begins to change this from a full-blown park with a golf training academy down here on this end of the field into the city it becomes for the 9 days of Balloon Fiesta. And as soon as it's over, we have to dismantle it all because by the end of October, it is given back to the city. Our lease is up for the year, and we give it back to the city, and so that park operations can resume here. Lots of RC stuff takes place on this park. Little RC planes, a little bit of cars. Balloonists will occasionally take off from here. We've seen the RC balloons launch out here. A lot of soccer teams and lacrosse teams and other sports teams. Archery is becoming very big out here as well. And many of those activities take place here at Balloon Fiesta Park year-round, not to mention the Golf Academy.
Right. Yeah, so this is a full-blown city park, and it has to be returned. I guess I'm kind of lucky because when I arrive in town, Balloon Fiesta Park itself is already built, and then I leave before it all has to be torn down. So I don't have to do any of the heavy lifting.
That's right. You just show up here and
I just show up and provide all the hot air and you know.
That's why we can have so many balloons.
That's right. We have never-ending hot air from the rooftop studio.
We had some, I told you I was with some friends for dinner last night, and they were putting some of the pictures up that our photographer has taken. And a couple of the ones of us here on the rooftop studio came up, and well, who are those guys? And I said, oh, that's the hot air that powers the Balloon Fiesta.
There you go. Balloon Fiesta is powered by ExxonMobil, but the hot air is supplied from the rooftop studio.
That's how that all works, exactly.
And I know there are a lot of people out there laughing and watching right now who agree with me 100%.
Or 120%.
Or 120%.
That's it.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, so we're going to say good morning here this morning to all of you, and we're going to let our folks on the stream go back to watching the archive videos, and for all of you here on the field as well, we're going to turn you over to our PA announcer, Bill Royal, right after we play the close to our show. And so thank you very much for watching us today.
Indeed.
And we'll be sure and watch all the archives, and we'll be back tonight at our regular time to see what happens with our Rodeo, our special shapes Rodeo for tonight here at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. I'm Lloyd Jr.
I'm Glen Moyer. Thanks for watching Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. Have a great day, everybody.
Okay, on the field, stay tuned for more entertainment.
You've been watching Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. This is the 51st edition of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, the world's premier ballooning event, and the 66th Gordon Bennett Coupe Aeronautique. Want more balloon action? Visit the archive of Balloon Fiesta Live broadcasts at balloonfiesta.com. Thanks for watching Balloon Fiesta Live. This program is a production of AIBF Inc.